Welcome back to Resistance at the Threshold. This is session number 7, entitled Up the Mountain. Last session, after a bit of stuff that happened during a celebration, the group has successfully maneuvered their way through a potentially politically strange series of scenarios and have gotten on the good side of the abbess, who has offered them the opportunity to come up the mountain, which is the first time in your life, Evangeline, that anyone has been allowed to go up the mountain in such a kind of invitational manner. Dahave, also for you, something you haven't seen. You know that Millie is good friends with a representative up on the mountain, a edge wizard, whose name is going to be coming out of my mouth in just a moment. That name is Landaff, Landaff, and very good friend of Millie's, the lore keeper for Ermerag, according to Millie. That said, it's definitely the first time in a while, Summer, that you've seen the leader of Gateneath go up the mountain. And besides Romand, Casey, it's the first time for you to see like others outside of just the ruling body kind of come up. So, Casey, this will be your first opportunity up. Morax, of course, your first. Mikhail, your father has gone up several times, but this is definitely your first endeavor up the mountain. That being said, we covered the night and kind of moved through that, cycling into the next morning. Was there anything? I just want to make sure if there's anything at all. And I'll with this game, it's not important to kind of catch you off guard or surprise you. Obviously, up the mountain will be kind of a bit of a challenge physically. It won't be terrible or anything. It's definitely something the other group will be easier kind of acclimated to, going up and down the mountain and living up there. But for some of you, it might be a little bit more difficult. So that said, is there anything that you want to do, anything that you want to acquire, anything that you've kind of thought about during the last week or so that you're interested in kind of making sure you have before you start making your way up, making the trek on up the way?
I think we had talked previously about collecting the things that we need, like coats and cloaks.
Like warm weather, or not cold weather
items.
clothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Check, make sure. Ooh, that was really loud.
I don't know how specific you wanted us to get into that, though.
Just if it's an equipment or an item that you have it on your character sheet, that would be the main specificity that I'm looking for.
Okay, so we want to put that on our character sheet then.
Yeah, if it's an item or something that you're acquiring, go ahead and make sure you have it on your person.
So what, we're getting like warm weather outfits? Is that what we're doing, guys?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our cold weather outfits, actually.
I did the same exact thing.
Warm.
I'm like,
It's
be
warm
warm in
outfit.
clothes.
Shows up
It's
in a
warm weather.
bikini, like
Right?
Cold
for the
weather
trip.
outfit.
Warm outfits for cold weather.
There you go.
Yay.
I'm just gonna put on my character sheet UGG boots.
Hug boots.
That tracks.
What about like
Nice.
this is just I don't know if I'm being paranoid, but what about healing potions?
We could probably bring some.
Can you get those?
Yeah, so there is a alchemist in town who deals with potion selling. They also are well known for their tea and other kind of herbal matters. They're so prominent in the town that this is the first time we've mentioned them. But they're also so prominent in the town that you've actually heard their name and not even realized it. So the Ashdown Bridge is named so for the Ashdown family, which is a family that lives on the southern side of the town. And they are, again, as I mentioned, very well known for their alchemy and craftsmanship therein. You could certainly purchase healing potions from the Ashdown family if you'd like.
Chris,
So what
you're
they're like
muted.
50 gold pieces a piece. So
Oh, they're 50 gold apiece
Uh-huh.
to
that's
brew.
usually what they are.
Well, not to brew,
Not
to
to
purchase.
brew.
And
Oh,
yeah,
purchase.
at this current time, the Ashdowns have about 38 healing potions for sale on offer. They have higher level potions as well, but they're a bit more expensive. But yeah, standard potion of healing, 50 gold pieces a cost. They do offer a 10% discount to people who are in the guard. And they would also extend that discount to people who are members of the guilds therein, as it's extended across the board guild-wise. But yeah, there's no special discount for rulership. If you'd like, you could just mandate they have to give it to you, but of course that would probably come with its own problems.
Dictator.
Choose
They're
wisely.
our potions.
I wish
Caring is caring.
I wish I had the USSR theme on point every time.
Well, I don't have gold for shit, so it is not a very profitable job to be Lord Keeper for this town.
I got 25 gold.
I got 15.
I have 10.
I had
Between
15.
us, we can get 2.
Okay.
I'll buy one.
Yeah, I have that much too.
Keep in mind there is the wealth that you established taking from the bandits, which is currently being held inside of the.
Ooh.
Oh.
I mean, he's not using it anymore, but then again,
That's an option. There's also the option of tapping into your own kind of monetary funds as magnate. I believe I stipend a set amount that was present. Let me double check my handout real quick. Bear with me here. Talk amongst yourselves.
So I could pretty much spend the town's money
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
into trouble.
Well, you're the one making the town's money, so it's technically not just the town.
Some of it's mine, but yeah.
Yeah. Magnate.
I will buy a potion of healing to feed to somebody who gets knocked unconscious.
Roll a d10.
Roll a d10. All right, guys. This is when the truth comes out. How much money do I have available? 9.
Okay. And then
Number 9.
do me a favor and roll a d12.
D12. An 8.
Okay.
Holy crap. Is that like 72 gold or something? 9 times 8.
So for last month, you are in the black 6,000 gold, and that is after the price to maintain the guilds. And then with the, you said, what was the D12 roll?
8.
Okay.
Potions of healing all around. Ooh. All right. You get a potion of healing. You get
Let's
a
not
potion
get
of healing.
crazy.
Sorry, my math was wrong. What did I say was the amount that you had for last month? 6? I meant 7,000.
6,000.
7,000 gold pieces. And that's just the
7,000.
amount that you're in the black for the last month. And then with a D12 roll, it would be.
I rolled pretty good, guys.
So the coffers for the town as it stands are 56,000 gold pieces. And that is the amount of money that is utilized at month's end to pay the guard, the people of the town who work for the keep. This is not including the amount of money that would be spent on maintaining the magnate's establishment, which is 3,000 gold pieces a month. And the magnate's establishment deals with everything kind of associated with the Vintners Guild, so that kind of leans down into the other guilds as well.
All right. How about everybody who couldn't afford one? I'll just buy one for you. So what was that? Elizabeth and Shijo, Magpie, and Chris and Zach. Could you
How
afford one?
much?
No, Zach.
How much were they?
They're 50. They're 50 gold pieces each.
Yeah, I can't afford that.
So I'll
Yeah.
buy 5 of them then with all that money. That's not going to be that much. 250 gold pieces. So everybody put down 1 potion of healing on your.
Yay!
And
That's
so-
like coming out of the town fund.
So we're aware the 7,000 is liquid that Mikhail has. The 56 is capital that the town has, which would be something that either I would assume Dahabe would probably account, and it would be held at the keep. This is money to pay for repairs, to raise up militias, to pay for things that are kind of more structurally needed.
That 5,600, is that coming in through taxes?
Sorry,
No,
56,000.
56,000.
That's
Oh,
that's capital that's been raised by the establishment. So the magnate's money that's gone into the town, that's 56,000.
Jesus Christ.
The
Okay.
town
sure we have
and its
a
guilds and the taxes and fees and everything that Casey kind of puts
Mm.
forward, all of that has raised this nest egg of 56,000 that you're sitting on.
Man, I wish I were corrupt so I can just spend it.
I wish I
Well,
wish I work.
What would you
That's how it
buy?
happens, right?
I don't know, something fancy. Gold.
A gold bookcase.
Gold symbols.
Yeah.
Hold on.
How many
Golden
how many
pen
potions
to
could
write
I have
with.
brewed overnight?
A new dress.
So the unofficial cost to purchase a castle is 108,000 gold pieces, just so you're aware. So you're halfway there.
Yeah. We may have to hire some mercenaries eventually to like bail us out of getting our asses kicked by
I
whoever wants to
mean-
attack us, the Denistavians or whatever.
Yeah. The establishment itself, like the establishment that is currently run, and like basically the combination of the mayor's hall and Mikhail's Vintner's guild, is about 50,000 gold pieces on its own. So there's liquid capital, and then there's kind of like the present property that you have. Gijo's like, first you got cops, now you got stocks and shit. This is conservative the game. I fucking hate this shit.
Yeah.
We already have people in jail.
Yeah. No. It's not that we have people in jail.
So much
You-
for escapism.
You put people
Yeah.
in jail.
We put
Right,
people,
done.
right, we put them in jail.
Like
Well-
next you're gonna tell me that
You're literally
Summer is
stabbing
like
them in the back.
Summer is running like the insurance company for the town.
Oh yes, exactly.
No, Summer's already very.
Never.
Summer's already been very clearly stated as a capitalist. I believe
Oh,
she's
right.
one of
It's,
those
our-
mummies.
No,
our-
that was
Yeah.
the other idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that didn't
She's,
happen.
she's
Yoga mom.
just like
Crunchy
a
granola
super
mom.
like crunch. Yeah, she's
Got
a crunchy
But the sad thing is,
There
yoga
is a
mom that
thin
really wants to
line.
be the
There's a
crunchy
thin
yoga
line.
grandma.
the bad thing is, even though Summer is doing insurance and everything, is not everybody can afford health care. So we have a bunch of poor people who don't have.
Well, you
healthcare.
can
It's
only
horrible.
Can't
afford
get to the
it.
temple. Can't go to the temple.
You can only
Yeah.
afford it if you sell enough insurance policies.
This is dystopian
God.
as fuck. But the question,
Yeah.
I-
It's a pyramid scheme. Is what she
this
has
is
going
getting
on.
to be like too Lord of the Flies for me. I'm out.
you know what? I was wanting to play Rocket League anyway. No.
Cars that play
Oh
soccer.
my god, you can play. I mean, that's way better than what we're talking about. Shut up.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho, anything
We
else?
have to make this world better, guys. After thinking about it, we're it's kind of
Did you
bad.
did you ever wonder if you were perhaps the threshold and not so much the resistance?
Mhm.
Ouch.
Maybe the Denisovans are the resistance.
God.
Yeah.
and we're
Ow.
the Empire.
Shit.
We're the establishment.
I
Oh no.
We just
We
we
done?
just walk around in our town and there are people hanging there. So
Yeah.
what the
What-
hell, right?
What kind of character did you guys make? I thought we were doing that from the beginning.
Oh.
Is this an evil campaign?
One party, one power.
Yeah.
Party one power?
Where we go one.
Oh no.
Oh, oh, oh no!
Yes,
John.
it's
What the fuck? Oh,
And then the fish has the face of a friend of yours on it.
They get deplatformed.
I am
Oh no.
I am so
Oh,
happy with myself. And really, that's just what's important, right?
And now Hezrod has a corpse in his bag.
if you wake
He's
up,
keeping it there.
if you wake up and you look in the mirror and you're satisfied, even though it came at the cost of other people's psyches, that's just good. So let's focus up. Let's focus up. Giggles aside, you've
Yeah.
got the purchases of potions again. So, Mikhail, I want to make sure you understand that 7,000 is yours. You do not have to give anything to the keep at all because you are definitely over on what you owe them, what you owe for property, what you owe for land rights, what you owe for taxes, etc. That's 3,000 normally. So this month has been relatively good to you. This last month has been relatively good to you. And then Evangeline, you can definitely dip into the coffers at your leisure. You can do whatever you want with that money. But obviously, the more you spend, if you were to do it for lavish purposes, it might be seen as corrupt. But yeah, spend what you like. Again, there's 38 total potions of healing. That's the lower level ones. If you're interested in higher levels of potions, just let me know and I'll explain what those would be.
All right, go ahead. I have so much money, it's ridiculous. So, how much are the higher level ones?
Yeah,
Maybe I'll
absolutely.
buy one of those each for everybody.
So the next up is greater healing, and greater healings are 250. The next up beyond that is superior.
All right. Let's not get crazy here.
Yeah, we don't really have the HP pools to justify
Yeah.
a superior potion at this point.
No, supreme you wouldn't have. Superior is
Oh.
8d4 plus 8, so that would be a pretty strong heal. But for the higher level characters, that might be maybe about
Oh.
half or a little over half.
How much are those? Like
Well,
1,000?
The superior healing
Superior?
are 500.
Oh, 500. Okay.
The greater healing, like I mentioned, they're 250.
Yeah,
They're
250.
4d4 plus 4 for healing. Now, when it comes to how many they have at the Ashdown, it's 36 of the regular, it's 12 of the greater, 5 of the superior, and they do not have supreme.
All right. I'll
But-
buy another 6 of the greater and give one to everybody.
Okay.
Like before we go on this trip, like here, this is in case we have an emergency, whatever, this is good to have something like this, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So that's going to be, let's see, 250 times 6.
Now, keep in mind, you're a guild member, so you're actually paying at a discount. So there's a 10% discount.
I
which
tip heavy, so I'm going to
Okay.
say it works it out.
evens out.
It evens out. You got to tip good, people work hard.
Absolutely.
All right.
And so the person that you'd probably be dealing with, just to make sure we put it forward, would be a young boy in his teens. He is blonde haired and genuinely very kind of monotone. He has a certain kind of oddness to him, an almost haunted kind of nature to the young lad. But he's very transactional. And so, like, it just seems like you're kind of dealing with someone business-wise who may not be wanting to show, like, your kindness. Like, for example, you're like, oh, I'll just pay the full amount because I'm generous and I'm tipping. And he's like, oh, well, thank you very much. And it's just very kind of just untoward, kind of not terribly concerned or showing any kind of emotional response in that regard. And I am getting a handout because this individual, despite never having been mentioned, does have a picture
You have
for
a
them.
picture.
I have a picture for the whole family. Because this one was invented by one of our other players from past games. But his name is Vernon Ashdown. And like I said, he's a kind of teenage boy, probably mid-teens. All players. Go to players. Yep. Once again, Midjourney coming through with the cool picture stuff. Making my job easier.
Very cool.
Visualizing the game. Again, I
It
don't.
is a nice use of like AI image things.
Yeah, I don't like the idea. Like, if this was like a show that was actually being released to a bunch of people and people were like consuming it, and I was making a shit ton of money off of it, I would be paying artists. But since I'm a poor and I need to visualize this to my players, it works for that. But yeah,
He looks a little bit like a blonde Timothy Chalamet.
I can see that. I do like
My
that
daughter
Timothy
likes
Chalamet.
that guy.
Yeah, he's
so
cool.
I
That
know
Dune
he looks
movie was awesome.
yeah, it was.
But yeah, he's just very monotone, and he seems very distant too. Like he's just kind of not really.
A teenager. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What do you?
Yeah, I could say that's a way of going about it, thinking about it. Sure. But yeah, once you finish your purchases, anything else that you want to acquire before day's end, before you leave the next morning?
gonna ask him if he has any potions of invisibility,
1 second.
because that would be really cool, guys. If I could go invisible. Not for anything bad, of course. Only for good stuff.
Unfortunately, we do not.
Just to kill people.
Unfortunately, we do not. I do apologize.
How long is the trip?
It's about half a day.
Huh.
A little more than half a day.
Food.
With regular stoppings and
Half a
such,
day on foot or half a day?
you can't do horse on it, unfortunately.
What
Okay.
about a potion of flying? Do you have one of those? I'm gonna make you work for this. Roll stuff or
No,
whatever.
absolutely. That's fine.
I'm trying to think of different things that might come in handy.
Unfortunately, we do not have either, or those either.
What about a potion of gaseous form?
I will check. I don't know if Mother is capable of making those.
Oh, I don't know. Do not.
Yes. Pulls one off the shelf. It seems to have a decent amount of dust layer to it. It will be 250 for this.
What is the shelf life of these? No, I'm just kidding. I don't ask. I don't. I'm hoping there's no shelf life to potions.
He would very kind of just studiously explain that, like, when
Yeah.
sealed, typically a wax layer will be added to the cork to keep the seal tight. So there is no shelf life for most potions.
Too bad wine did not have the same characteristics, because after a while it will turn to vinegar.
And you would know that the reason why you can't use the same kind of methods to kind of bottle your materials is due in part to the fact that glue would very much, and the wax would very much offset
Yeah.
the nature of how the wine breathes.
Yeah,
in
it
its
would mess
bottle.
up the flavor, right? That makes sense. All right, cool. I will buy that, because that could be a good escape potion for somebody who happens to be royal.
Yeah, potions
agree.
don't exactly have to breathe to maintain their flavor. Flavor is really not an important part of the potion, it's more the effect.
All right. Actually, I will, so
Like-
that I don't have to be the only one who thinks about this. I think I will, when I give out the healing potions to everybody, I will pull aside, or actually, I'll just do it in front of everybody. I'll be like, all right, I also have here a potion of gaseous form, which I think may be very useful if we ever have to escape again, like we did from those thieves or those bandits. We could give it to the matriarch, and she could just escape while we fight them off. So,
Yeah.
so
It's
I think
like,
I'll just hold on to it for now. But
gotcha. Cool. One
if
potion.
I
of-
need to, I can give it to her.
Cool.
That's my plan, at least.
All
All
right.
right, cool, guys.
Anything else that needs to be kind of thought about, considered, or sounds like no. So we'll move to the next morning. You meet with the entourage, the retinue of the abbess at their camp as they're kind of pulling it down. The tents remain. Those are a permanent fixture in the town, and so do a lot of the pieces of furniture. When I say they're pulling it down, I mean that they're kind of removing their additions to the their bedrolls. They probably have oh god, why can't I think of the name of the bed that's hammocks? They're removing their hammocks from like the tree posts, stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but again, just kind of depersonalizing it and making it just the standard tents. There are a total of 10 knights. I know that in my initial statement I had said there were 7 plus 2, but I miscounted. And I do know that the names of those individuals are, and we've discussed them before, Bradicus, Braxus, Chadicus, Kelvin, Garrett, Gunther, Ontavius, Palaxus, and Rodothan. And then, of course, the leader of the knights is Romand. Along with them, there is Estrid, Tiffany. I think I listed Estrid twice in our list too. Hilarious. Estrid, Oscar, Tiffany, and Roderick, in addition to the abbess. They seem to be very prepared, ready to go. And you will note that the courier is standing aside from what is kind of the larger group of individuals, along with Oscar, Tiffany, and Rodithan, one of the knights. And a couple more of the knights kind of move over to that grouping, specifically Chadicus and Bradicus. And it looks like they formed two parties. And then your group moves over to group up with them. The abbess kind of moves over to Evangeline, kind of taking, making these two kind of center stage as everyone kind of moves in to pay attention to what they're saying. And she says, "Ah, good. You and yours are prepared. See that you have a guard. I expected as much. I, because of that, will be sending Estrid ahead with her own accompaniment. She will be leaving ahead of us, and she'll be moving a lot quicker than our group is capable of doing so, thanks in part to her masterful techniques regarding movement. As someone who is focused on the travel domain, she is very capable at getting her and hers up the mountain much quicker than we will be able to, unfortunately, but fortunately it also has a set limit to the number of people it can assist." Estrid kind of nods. The abbess kind of gives a signal to Estrid, and then Estrid, Oscar, Rodithan, Tiffany, and two of the knights, Chadicus and Brandicus, leave, leaving you with a total of 5 knights, Romand, the abbess, and that's pretty much it for. Oh, sorry, and Roderick. That's it for the accompaniment of the abbey. Okay. Shall we get underway? She says.
Absolutely.
Okay. As you're walking, Romand and the knights kind of form like a protective outer layer in the front of the group. Roderick, the brigadier, kind of moves towards the front as well. Roderick offers a place towards the front to Morax, the captain of the guard. And of course, Morax, your lieutenant. Did you find the name of that individual or no?
Yeah, it is a. Are there half orcs in this world?
Certainly.
A half orc named Brunor Fistbrand.
Brunor Fistbrand. Hold on a second here. I'll make sure to notate that here. And we'll add it to the randoms. So, Brunor Fist. What was it?
Brand.
Okay. Cool. And so he's wearing kind of heavy armor. The icon that I'm using for it is kind of a generic template. I'll find something different for it once we kind of get him a bit more situated. Directly behind them, it would be the abbess. And I assume, Evangeline, you'd be walking alongside with the abbess. Is that right?
Yes.
Directly behind those two on the road would be, I presume, Dahave, with an earshot of Evangeline to be able to, be at her beck and call. And Mikhail, due to your kind of position as magnate of the town, along with Dahave. Is that fair?
Sounds good to me.
And then in the back of the group would be Casey and Summer. Does that sound accurate?
Sure.
Okay. So you're
Most
walking
likely.
along. Again, the NPCs
What-
as. Go ahead.
Before we move on, as soon as we get together and start our way out of the town, aid for the Sheriff Mikhail and the Matriarch.
Cool. How long does that last?
8 hours.
8 hours.
Ooh, sweet.
Ooh. Is that the temp HP?
You
Max
get
HP.
5 max HP
Nice.
additional.
Very good. Thank you.
And I will note those on my side with aid will be red dots. And you said Mikhail, Moirax, and who was the last one?
The Matriarch.
Oh, gotcha. Of course, that's right. All right. Cool. Any other preparatory work here? Okay. Almost as if like inspired to perform defensive measures as well, you would note that the Aves, seeing this kind of brought forward, would cast a similar spell on Romand, the Brigadier, and Dahabe. So you are also aided as well, same level. And she says, I don't know if your preparedness is for a purpose, but I will follow suit. It seems that this is a wise idea.
Oh, wait, before I forget. Sorry.
Mhm.
Can I cast Druidcraft to see what the weather's gonna be like on the mountain, or is that not possible?
Sure. So it kind of tells you more or less what the weather is where you're at. So
Oh,
as you're kind of
relative.
taking note to it, it's windy. It's not like blustery. It's just kind of like a light, cool, kind of casual wind. And it seems like it's going to be a sunny, late summer, early autumn day.
So it shouldn't be too bad.
Right. And looking up the mountain, it doesn't look like there's any cloud coverage or anything that would lead you to believe that there's any kind of problems therein. But
Perfect.
yeah, the first stretch of the walk outside of Gateneath kind of winds up a large grouping of hill structures, and there is a crossing over a river that runs down the mountain. The bridge in question is known as the Vine Bridge. It was put in place by Mikhail's grandfather, not father, long ago, before the town was even a thing. And near to there is there are a couple of communities, like not communities, but like a couple of houses present on Ermerag in this first section that are still technically a part of Gateneath. But this is like the first couple of hours, maybe 3 or so hours of the trip that kind of leads you up to the hard base of the mountain, if that makes sense. That being said, as you are making your way along the road, it is a dirt road. There are the signs of, puddles and kind of, a bit of dampness to the soil. Not so bad on the road itself. It seems that the road has been packed with stone to kind of make it a bit more sturdy a thing. Whereas like on the sides of the road, the grass and areas are a bit more kind of squishy. Nothing crazy, just a bit slick. But yeah, that being said, you see that the bridge up ahead is just along your way, crosses over a chasm that's about maybe 20 or so feet deep, or maybe 30 or so feet deep, give or take. And it's a stone bridge of a very just, old style structuring that has a bit of the soil kind of running throughout it as well. One of those very old style kind of Roman bridges is the best way I can kind of describe its look. And across the way, on the lower portion of the causeway, the waterway, there is a home. And you do see that there is smoke kind of billowing from the chimney. My brain can't even work sometimes. And it looks like there's a single individual standing on the bridge that appears to be kind of standing on the opposite side, wearing a black cloak, kind of fluttering in the wind. And you can see that he has what would be for Morax and Mikhail telltale markers that he is a member of, or was a member of, or more than likely is a member of the Setting Suns.
So I guess once I saw that and noticed it, I would like whisper Dabe and, kind of pass the word around that looks like that could be somebody who's in the Setting Suns. So be aware.
What is,
You know,
which means like a bandit
yeah,
that
those were-
attacked us, right?
yeah, the Setting Suns were the bandits that attacked us.
And the
So
map
there-
should be showing what you're kind
Remind me,
of looking at.
which of these fellows is it? Or is it the guy this guy. Gotcha.
Across the way.
Yeah. So it's not somebody that necessarily comes from the house.
He just seems to be standing. It looks like he has a longsword, a thin-bladed longsword, kind of pressed down in front of him. It very much looks like he is kind of holding a defensive posture on the opposite side of the bridge. The best thing I can mentally describe to you is he's a bandit. He's wearing kind of just, bandit garb, but his stance is very similar to the Black Knight from Monty Python. Like it looks like he is a none shall pass kind of stature. Obviously, taking the gravity of the situation out of the sails of the discussion by mentioning Monty Python, but
Is he facing us or
Yeah.
away from us?
facing you.
Monty Python is a very serious topic, John.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't joke about it. So it looks like the person in the lead is it Roland or Roman?
Roman, yeah, and if you are saying
Yeah.
things in the back, he will kind of stop looking at the situation, a bit confused. He kind of looks back to Moirax and he says, "What say you? I will press on if it is the wish of the abbess."
I ask him, have you encountered any of these folks in your travels here and back?
No. It is very difficult to gain access to these specific parts of the area, due in part to Gateneath and its presence. So how they are able to have come to even this individual's come to be here, I can't say I'm aware as to why. We typically do have some risk of dealing with monsters on the mountain, more often than not, the spectral undead. But this is the first time I've seen a corporeal man stand in my way. The bandit on the opposite side says, "Hey! You there! You lot! I see you there!" He kind of holds his sword in one hand and is kind of waving his hand up in the air. Towards
I'm
you.
gonna walk forward, and as I walk past Roman, I just sort of nudge him, and I signal, come on up with me.
Yep.
Have everybody else stay behind.
At this point, the brigadier kind of moves back into Moirax's spot, moving into a defensive posture with the abbess, and the knights all move forward, kind of blocking the bridge off in its entirety. Since the lieutenant is in command of the guards, he will kind of just move everyone up into more of a circular posturing around the abbess and the matriarch. Anybody else in the group want to try and issue any commands or take control in any way? Do anything else? Move? What happened?
I will throw a bardic die at the sheriff.
Okay. You just kind of say something kind of inspirational as he moves up.
He just hears like bing, and he feels like inspired.
Ding, 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 ding. We love this. Or, psh.
Bing.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
as I approach him, I just put my hand up and say, "Hail, traveler!"
Oh, hail! Sheriff of Gateneath and whoever you are. Kind of moving up. Roman kind of cedes to you. It doesn't seem like he's kind of taking control of the conversation or anything. The bandit stops kind of hailing and moves his hands back to the sword, looking to you, and he says, "I have been asked to inquire and beseech your matriarch regarding an answer to the offer that was placed upon her."
Well, I'm afraid the matriarch's a bit busy at the moment. You can come back during business hours sometime.
Yes, I assumed you would try and deflect me away with a quip, but I do want to make sure you understand that I am very, very serious, and I don't think I can allow you to pass if you are not willing to have this discourse with me. I need an answer, or Dust will be very angry.
Out of character, what was the offer that they proposed? That was a while ago.
Oh god, the letter. I didn't type it
Oh
out.
god, the fucking letter. Oh god.
Yeah, it's the one that you read. It's basically
Yes.
the gist of it. Since and notate this. The gist of the note was stand up against the Denisovans. Join us in our shared sin, which was killing the Denisovan messengers.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Well, given that we've got no interest in participating in a war, I think it's safe to say we're gonna be turning down that offer of yours.
Yeah. I figured you might be saying that. He slowly kind of raises the sword up out of the ground, kind of holds it aloft in the air. Kind of a shimmer in the sunlight for a second there. And as that shimmer kind of takes place, you can see down below on the door of the small little house, a couple more bandits, not too long like him, kind of storm out onto the deck with crossbows in hand. And I'm going to now proffer it to you if you are engaging with these individuals in a combat sense. Feel free to roll initiative. If you do not want to participate in the initiative or be a combatant, your initiative will be set to 1. And you can do non-combat stuff at that point. But if you are wanting to fight, now is the time to roll initiative.
Well, I would, of course, immediately draw my sword out and yell back to the
Well,
others.
No. On initiative, you'll draw your weapon.
Ah, gotcha.
Would Summer be able to hear all of this happening, like way back?
Yeah. So it's not
Okay.
it's not so windy that you can't hear anything. And Moirax, as we're well aware, has kind of a deep, very audible voice. And they're still a good distance away from each other, so they are yelling to kind of get that information out. But the second his sword kind of goes up, it's very kind of... No one's surprised, is the main thing I'm trying to address. There's no... I'm not catching you off guard with the start of the fight.
I just didn't know since Summer was
Oh,
towards the back.
Understandable, but yeah, no,
specifically.
it's clear enough that you can kind of hear.
Great.
I will note the 3 bandits that are on the dock, Moirax. Your eye kind of juts to them. You would note that they have similar arbalists to the ones that the knives below had. The large crossbows that do crazy shit.
Ooh, fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. And the Abbess's party will go at her leisure on 5. Okay. All right. Evangeline, you are first on the initiative. I'm going to change the music up real quick. I say real quick, what I meant was not that. Let's see. What do I want? Battle on the bridge.
Take cover, my lady. That's what I'm saying as a free action.
Good advice.
She will
No
cast
shame in
Shield of
heroically taking
Faith
the dodge roll.
All right.
on herself.
Oh, and sorry, the lieutenant and the guardsmen, the soldiers, they will act immediately after Moirax. They will act on their own. You're not able to control them, but they will do their own thing based on my decision making, unless you, Moirax, or you, Evangeline, specifically order them to do otherwise. They will take Moirax's orders over Evangeline's.
Yeah. As a bonus action, I'll cast Shield of Faith
Okay.
on myself. And then that means I can still do a thing, right?
As you kind of put forward your holy symbol, a glyph appears in front of you. Full moon appears, kind of locks in front of you, acting as like a disc of energy that will block attacks.
And then she will cast spiritual weapon in this square.
You can't cast 2 leveled spells in the same turn. Also, Shield of Faith and Spiritual Weapon both have the same cast time of a bonus action. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. If you use your bonus action to cast a leveled spell, your action has to be used to cast a cantrip. If you use your action to cast a leveled spell, your bonus action can only be used to cast a cantrip that is used as a bonus action.
Okay.
No worries.
Creature that you can see within range. Alright, well then I cast Sacred Flame
Okay.
on
The one on the bridge or the one on the port? Or the dock?
one of the ones with the crossbows.
Okay.
So try
Closest
this
one.
one. Closest one.
Alright. Dexterity saving throw DC for that will be... Go ahead and click the spell. Okay, cool. Perfect. So you watch the bolt kind of appear above him, maybe about 10 or so feet above him, and you see him kind of like quickly look up. As the bolt flies down, he dashes to the side, kind of catching himself on the edge of the dock, and it kind of blasts a scorch mark on the wood. Its radiance kind of just sizzles across the deck. All right, Evangeline, any movement or holding your position?
I'm holding my position in the middle of this ring.
Okay. Mikhail.
All right, I am going to urge the matriarch by saying, "My lady, you need to either get concealed or behind cover. They have some large crossbows." That's what we can see they have, you said, right?
Mm-hmm. And Mikhail, go ahead and make a perception check for me real quick.
Perception check. I'm going to do this. Let's see.
Okay.
A 6, not the greatest.
Continue your turn.
Okay. So what I am going to do is, how big is this rock? Is it big enough for me to crouch behind it and get cover?
I'd say about like 4 feet high. But again, they are down below you, so they're
below us, too.
20 foot down. Like I would say, the only people they really have like an objective line of sight on would be the ones on the bridge.
They can't even hit like the matriarch where she is.
No, and I'd say Roman is actually out of sight too because he's kind of closer to the other side of the bridge. It's mostly just Moirax who's kind of in target line for them. The presumption is they'll probably make their way up onto the hill opposite side to engage with you.
All right, interesting. All right,
You-
well that's good.
You could certainly use the advantage of having the higher ground and shooting down at them now if you'd like, but you'd have to move towards the edge to do so.
Yeah. The problem is I just throw daggers, so they have very limited range. So I think what I will do then is I will move over here. I'll move like that's about 25.
Okay.
And actually maybe I'll move over here then and kind of just like crouch down in the bushes so that nobody can see me. Because that's tactically a good idea.
Absolutely.
It seems very cowardly, but it's tactically a good idea to hide in the bushes. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to actually do an actual hide as my action because that was a move and a hide action.
All right.
Actually, is it cunning action? Can that be hide is part of the cunning action, right?
Yeah, bonus action hide.
So I could actually move farther. I think I'll stay where I am for now because I want to see what all the soldiers are going to do. You know, like where are they going?
Absolutely. Mikhail done. Casey, you are up before your turn begins. Go ahead and make a perception roll for me, Wade.
Roll better than I did.
19.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, nothing crazy or untoward that you're seeing other than the fact that it does look like there are shadows moving underneath the bridge. It does seem like there might be more to this ambush than meets the eye initially.
Okay, you said shadows underneath the bridge.
Yeah, they're just
If I
strange
move-
movements. You're not sure what they are. You can't see them yet. But yeah, you're pretty sure that there might be people kind of underneath there.
If I move to here and get a better side angle on the
Yeah.
bridge, what do I see?
Great. So, from what you can tell, it does look like there are creatures kind of hanging out underneath. From what you can tell, they're about goblin-sized, but they appear to be kind of latched onto the stone and kind of slowly moving to the edge of it. Their hands appear to be very long and flat, and when they kind of pull their hand away from the stone, you can see these small barbs in their palms. You don't know what they are unless you have Arcana trained. They look like they're about 3 that you can see on this side.
Okay. I can't recognize it, but I still shout, ambush underneath the bridge!
All right.
And then you said the only path up is for them to go up the stairs here, right?
You bet.
Cool. I am going to, as an action, spend 2 key points and cast darkness centered on, I think, this point right here.
Hold on a second. Spell templates. Do I have them? Yep, second level.
Nice.
I don't have a darkness spell template. I'm sad for it. Bear with
I'm
me here.
very sorry.
What's the radius on darkness?
15-foot radius.
I can make one really quick. Faster casters, spell effect. Really cool stuff, by the way. Check it out on the Roll20. Wasn't expecting there to be an ad. Oh, there it was. Okay. Sorry, my computer is being the dumb. Darkness. Darkness. Darkness.
Whoa.
Perfect. So 15 foot would be 6 across. Alright. You are Zach?
Oh, I guess I could move it myself.
No, I'm giving it to you right now. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Now you can. Go ahead. That's where you want it?
Like, yeah, like that. So
Okay.
he should be completely covered in darkness and would have to
Yeah, the
walk
ring-
into the water to get the
The ring
step
is
out of it.
definitely the placement on that. Okay. So it goes to them.
Oh, I have
Oh.
10 feet more of movement.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
I would just, after I identify those guys on the bridge, I want to take a couple of steps back to here. That's
Alright.
all, and that's my turn.
Okay, cool. So, as you're kind of watching these creatures kind of burst up over the sides, they seem to be like annoyed by the sunlight a bit at first, but you can see even though the images of them don't have it, they're all wearing these large black goggles over their faces, but they still seem to kind of like squint and kind of like grimace as they come up over the ledge. And
That's
as
kind of cute.
they come up over, all 6 of them start kind of lashing out towards Moirax and Romand. So the hands, let's call them that, of these creatures are very like massive compared to their size. They're actually pretty big for a medium-sized creature, like very like wide open, flat, 3-fingered hands. And they kind of just slap them at you. Have you ever played with those like sticky gummy hands, you know, that like you kind of throw at stuff? That's about the consistency that you're getting of their like tentacle-like arms kind of moving out towards you and flailing at you. And all of them attack. So the first one will hit you, the second one will hit you, and the third one will miss you. You'll take 4 piercing damage from the first one. You'll take 10 piercing damage from the second one. And you are grappled by both of them as they kind of grab a hold. You're grappled by one of them. The other one does not grapple you. I
So
see.
that's a total of 14 damage.
Yes, that's it. So Yeah, that was a total of 6 attacks, and only 2 of them hit you, and they were from the same creature. And he is grappling you with both hands.
Nice.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. One of them was a critical success. You're not immune to crits, right? You don't have adamantine.
No.
Okay. So not only are you grappled by it, being grappled in this way means you are restrained. Additionally, if I crit you with the attack, you are also unable to breathe, speak until the grapple ends. It grasps your face and kind of lashes its hand around your mouth.
Well, screw you too.
And you can also feel it kind of like pinching at your throat and kind of squeezing the air out of your lungs. They're called chokers.
Oh,
A
nice.
character note. You watch as Roman also gets similar treatment. It doesn't look like he is caught off in a way that he gets rid of his voice box. He's still just got them like around the chest and everything, but there are 2 of him that have latched onto him. And they seem to be kind of pulling their weight towards the edge of the bridge. And you can see Roman is kind of struggling with that issue. Cool. The bandits in the darkness are going to take their entire turn cautiously moving in the shadow. They are very much kind of touching the ground and moving. So they're just going to move 1/3 of their movement this turn, and that's it. And they're going to do so moving on the here cautiously. All right. And then the guy up there, still holding his sword aloft, you see him kind of like point at the bridge. And when he does so, you can see now, again, the perception checks were not good enough to note these 2 up in the trees, saddled up with the arbalists as well, kind of waiting. They're going to fire shots. Both are firing across the field at the night wall that's in front. Hit and hit. All right. That's no good. So you watch as the first knight kind of stepping forward, who you're trying to remember the name of, and you're pretty sure that this was Kelvin up front. Yeah, they all look the same token-wise, but whatever. He gets shot in the chest and kind of like reaches for it to grab it, and as he's kind of doing so and looking to the side, you watch as the next bolt hits him in the side of the head and goes right through his temple.
Or Kelvin.
Ooh.
All right.
He's at absolute 0 now.
The bandits are done. Moirax, you are
Science joke.
currently engaged, and you're currently grappled. Let me go ahead and
Grappled
tentacle.
by, say, the 2 closest to me.
No, just the one. This guy up here.
Just
above.
the one. Okay.
And while you're in this state, you're also restrained. Cool.
Cool. And I also can't talk or breathe.
Correct. It is over your face. But while you're in this state, restraint just says you can't move. You have a speed of 0, and your speed can't be increased. And also, if you make attack rolls, you have disadvantage on them. So you can still swing at him if you want. You just are doing so in a not as efficacious way.
All right. Can I try to... If he's grabbing at me... he's got me. Takes my action to try to break out of it.
Yeah, it would take you, and again, because it's the same one grappling you twice, it's just the one grapple DC.
And you have your bardic die.
You do
Yes,
have a
I
bardic
do. Then I will try to break out of that.
die. Okay, go ahead and make a either athletics or acrobatics check, your choice.
Athletics. Ooh, can I add my die?
Roll a d8.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
So as you're kind of remembering the clinging sound, you remember that like the hands kind of closed, and you kind of understand like the wrap. So you kind of reach towards the edge of the tentacle fingers, grab, and start pulling and peeling. You can feel the barbs coming out of your scales, and as you kind of tear the tentacle aside, you kind of push back, and the 2 hands kind of flail backwards. It seems to be kind of like connected to the bridge in a way that doesn't make you think that you could knock it off easily, but it still has that kind of wacky inflatable tube band kind of like motion as you kind of push it away from you.
Right. Then can I use an action surge and take a swipe at him
Certainly can.
with my big sword?
All right. 14 will not hit.
Ooh. Then I'll do it again.
Okay. So you kind of swing the first attack and it kind of like spins around and like does a matrix turn, kind of like weird goopy move underneath your blade. You kind of then just draw the blade up and down and strike. Give me the damage. All right. You put a massive cut into the creature. One of its arms kind of flails off and goes spilling out into the stream below, and it kind of lets out this shriek. Like it's very much the sound of an adolescent kind of like in pain, but it sounds like it's going through metal. Like it sounds like it's being like reverberated in a strange way.
Real quick, if that didn't kill him, great weapon fighting. One of those rolls was a 1. I get to re-roll one of them.
Oh, yes. Go ahead and roll a d6. So
Okay,
that
so +3.
will do it on the nose. So the arm goes flying off. It lets out that shriek, and then as like the blood starts kind of flying out of it, you can see that it's this kind of spaghetti-o-like consistency of red orange that's kind of shooting out of its stub, and the whole thing just goes falling off after its arm.
Oh, thanks.
Disgusting.
All right, Moirax, you're done, right?
Yes.
All right. Dahave, you are up, and go ahead and make a perception roll for me.
Don't all of my dudes go?
Oh, yeah, you didn't actually let out a command for them, so I will go ahead and move them.
Well, I couldn't talk. So.
Yeah, that's more than fair. So they are going
23.
Good. 23. They are going to move into a defensive posture and kind of hold a defense. It looks like they are very much... Well, this guy's actually going to run around. He's going to move up here, and this guy's going to move around. Dahave, kind of passing by you as this happens. Dahave, as you see the guards kind of moving up, the guards are carrying their staves, the bonk staffs that I kind of mentioned them having. This guy is kind of moving in that way, but you can see that his shield hand, which is just a light buckler, is moving into his coat, and he's drawing a Chris dagger from his belt. That would be this guy here, as he moves behind the matriarch.
Wait, what?
Okay. So, Dahabe would say, "Stop, you traitor!" So I can. By the way, Bardic Inspiration die is a D6.
Oh, sorry. Then we cheated on the last one, but that's fine. It's whatever. We'll move past it. It was my
Okay.
fault. I was the one who said D8. But yeah.
So
So
that's
his
a
next
2.
saving throw he makes, he has to take a penalty of 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, should I shove him? No, I'm not very strong.
It's not a saving throw for shoving, anyways.
Okay, so we're gonna cast this at 2nd level. I need a wisdom save.
And this is against psychic, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, no benefit here for him. Or them, rather. Success.
Oh, you rolled in the open.
Did I?
Yep.
Mhm.
I rolled twice. One in the open, one not in the open. That's really weird. So I gotta... Yeah, hold on. Always roll... Okay, always whisper rolls. That's really weird. Okay, so we'll go with the one that you saw, since you don't want to call me a liar. So that's a 10. That'll fail. He will take psychic damage. That was really strange. That's the first time I've ever seen it roll twice on one roll.
Yeah.
One in the open, one in the out. That's fucking weird. Okay, so anywho, like I was saying, he'll take the damage, which is 11. You cast it at a higher level, so
17.
uh-huh. And he will then use his reaction to move as far away as possible from you as his speed will allow. So, all right.
I get to hit him, right?
It doesn't say he doesn't take attacks of
And
opportunity.
he's doing it by his own speed. So yeah, you would get an opportunity attack. I would say
Would I? Do I even know that this is happening?
because of your past perception check, Casey, you would not be aware of what's happening here. You would just see
I was
Dahabe.
running that way though.
No, I grant you that, but you
Okay.
don't know that this guy's not okay.
Well, I
Oh,
just
that's
said, you're a traitor. Get the fuck out of here.
Granted, but again, the split second like twist, it's like who
It's a twist.
and Casey
It's more of
Casey
like a-
failed the perception check. I will allow for the matriarch a perception check to see what's going on, and Summer as well. And if you can meet the 21 DC that's required here, then you can certainly make an opportunity attack. Otherwise,
What's that?
think about it in a very quick kind of fashion. Spell is cast
Oh,
after
no.
yelling "You're a traitor," and then the guy runs away like a coward. You're not sure what's happening here. It could be that this guy is, again, he looks just like a guard. There's no reason for you to hit him.
I still have a free action, right?
I think your free action would have been "You traitor."
That's a
and that's-
bonus. That's my bonus action that I used to do
Oh, unsettling words. Got you.
unsettling words.
What would the free action be?
I would say that guy running that way tried to stab
That's
the.
way more than 6 seconds, Chicho. Come on now.
Okay,
Let's look at it in a realistic kind of sense.
Get him!
Literally,
get him.
in-
Okay, get him. Good, thank you, Summer.
in response, I would say, I'm gonna make the ruling pretty plain. Everything's happening as it is. Casey was not aware that he was a villain. He very just recently turned into a villain. So Dahabe, after the casting and after the effect, I would say that yeah, certainly they'll kind of turn their attention towards him. But there's not the immediate, yeah, I'm gonna murder the guy who's a guardsman.
Sure.
All right. Anything else?
That's my turn.
So it'll go to the priest. The priest, confused, kind of looks to Dahabe and says, I will deal with the front, you deal with the back. And then pushes forward her rod of the signal of her stature of authority. And her knights move out onto the bridge in a defensive posture. They appear to have their shields up and are now taking the dodge action, protecting anyone behind them from potential attack. As I said, the guards were moving around and doing the same, taking the defense action around Evangeline, except for that one guy.
Fucking Larry.
Interestingly, did not get his action because he was forced to use his reaction during his turn. He was readying an action to attack. No, I don't know. I'll just say that he'll be acting a bit sooner than normal. He'll be rolling his own initiative at the beginning of the initiative count. The priestess will cast a spell targeting her front three. You can see that she puts forward the blessings of Atavius upon them. And the brigadier will move up as well. He raises his rod or scepter and throws it forward, saying arcane words. As he does throw so, 3 bolts of fire flail out from his rod, one slamming into each of the chokers assailing Romand. One misses, one hits, and one hits. Looking like he's wounding the one that didn't grab a hold of Romand and one that did. And that is it for the War Priestess's side. Summer, you are up. You are now aware. Again, the very quick nature of the turncoat. You see that he's brandishing a Chris dagger, which is not too dissimilar from the daggers that were being utilized by the knives below.
Right. I am going to. Shoot. I didn't prepare that. That's fine. I'm going to grab out my short bow and. Wait. Yes, there it is. And shoot at him.
Okay.
20.
That'll hit.
6. Piercing.
Okay. All right.
And I believe that is it.
All right. With that hit, it definitely looks like he is a bit hardier than you were expecting a guard to be, what with the dissonant whispers and everything that's kind of befallen him thus far. But it also looks like he's very competently kind of turning that dagger about in his hand. So as we start the initiative on this count, he will go ahead and make an initiative roll separate on his own. And that should have put him on the initiative. And descending. Okay, so he has a higher dexterity than Evangeline. As a bonus action, he will steady aim. He will then hurl a dagger at Casey. Are you making motions to defend? You're basically, assumably, kind of moving to kind of fight.
Yeah.
This guy?
Oh yeah. As soon as Casey heard
You're the
get
target.
him, they would have turned. Absolutely. I'm taking that.
Okay. Crit.
Dead Casey.
Do you have immunity to poison or resistance to it?
Resistance to poison.
Cool. All right.
Advantage on saving throws against being paralyzed or poisoned.
Yeah. Double checking some math here. Hold on. So 12 piercing. Plus 14 sneak. And after having, it would be 17 poison. Oh, sorry. Make a Constitution saving throw. Okay, failure. Unless anybody has inspiration. Okay, I'll take that as a no. So in total, you'll be taking 43 points of damage.
That's a dead Casey.
Not dead. Unconscious.
I have
Yeah.
23 hit points.
Yep, I'd have to double 23, which would be 46.
Oh.
I did the math.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
honestly, the only thing that saved you was your resistance to poison. Otherwise, you would be dead because it was 17 times 2 plus 1 because it was uneven. Like, hold on. 30, 35. Yeah. So it would have been worse. And anybody else. Could have killed the matriarch. DC 21 perception check. I was about ready to do it too. Anyways, after throwing the dagger, he steady aimed. He can't really move over to recover it. So you would see that he kind of drops the staff off to the side as a free action and draws a short sword. Dahabe, being kind of focused on this guy, you would see that as he draws the short sword seems to have like a glimmer to it, like a there's like a wetness to the blade. All right, Evangeline.
Okay.
Oh, and sorry. Another point of context is if you're kind of familiar with the guard, which I assume Evangeline would be, this guy very much looks like Bill, the guardsman, who you've seen before. Like, he is very much just the guy named Bill who is a guardsman. He's been in the guard staff since your mother was in charge. He's been in the guard for like 20 years. Like, he's an honored soldier. but for some reason
And
it's
yet
turning.
now he has
Oh.
betrayed us.
They must be paying good.
The
Well-
darkness would have dropped too,
Oh
I
yeah.
believe. Sorry.
No. Thank you for keeping us honest.
Bone.
I'm giving
Let's
bards
see.
D8s. I'm all over the place.
I would like to cast Healing Word.
On Casey?
Yeah, at level 2.
Okay. So 8 hit points back.
Wow.
Casey?
Okay. And then as a bonus action, because Bill just done pissed me off, do Sacred Flame for absolute nothing.
Okay, that'll hit. Oh, it's 1 point. Yeah.
Points
I
on the board.
try.
Points on the board.
Every bit counts.
All right. Evangeline done. Any movement from you? Do you want to back away behind the lieutenant, or?
Yeah, I'm just gonna boop.
Okay. Mikhail, as you're kind of like made aware of the situation and everything's kind of happening, the short sword that he's drawn, for you immediately indentures into your mind that this is not the blade of a guardsman. You can actually see that the slender blade is of a blackened metal, which is specifically made that way to not discern light and also to be hidden well within shadow. The dagger that he threw into Casey was very much an assassin's blade. This person is dressed like a guard, but is maneuvering himself very similarly to people you have tangled with in the past.
Yeah, this is not good. All right, so it is my turn. Dang. I am actually going to have to use my, I believe it's cunning action dash,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because he's 40 feet away from me. And so I want to get right up in his face.
Okay.
And then I will attack him with my, what is this thing called? The dragon?
Tooth dagger.
Yeah, dragon tooth dagger. That's it. All right, come on, guys. Let's do this. Come on, dragon tooth dagger.
Hit.
Yes, 220s, but they're not natural, but they still hit. All right, damage wise, I don't think you count sneak, do you? Because
No.
like there's nobody near him. So it's 14 damage, 6 acid and 8 slashing.
Okay. As you rush forward and kind of get to him, again, he's taken quite a bit of damage so far, but has kind of maintained himself. As you kind of rush in, you're spinning the karambit on your finger, kind of duck low away from like a, just parrying kind of stance of the short sword and kind of rip up with the karambit across his cheek. As it cuts him in the side of the cheek, you can see that like a lot of blood kind of starts to kind of maneuver from that. Very solid hit across his face. And this is the moment where you see him kind of like fall into that bloodied station. Like it seems like just now he seems to feel the weight of the combat.
Okay, so this guy is
Pretty
just now
buff.
bloodied. I got one question for you.
Sure.
When I passed the matriarch,
Mm-hmm.
like to me, it looks like she's still open to be hit by arbalists, especially these guys from the trees.
The knights definitely are kind of holding a wall. Angle-wise, not so much. It looks like they would have to shoot through the guards to get to Evangeline.
Okay, because if she was exposed, I was gonna like yell to her to take cover because I didn't want her to get an arbalist through the brain.
You're
or,
pretty sure if the guardsmen that the abbess has kind of put forward move any further onto the bridge, that defensive shell will dissipate. But yeah, for now, they're in a position angle-wise that they are still kind of acting as a barrier.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. I will just hope that this guy doesn't kill me then.
Casey, as you're kind of brought to life, you see Mikhail kind of jumping over top of you, kind of landing on the other side. You can hear the rip of the karambit. You're kind of laying there on the ground looking down at your metal frame. And there sits the dagger. And you can see the vitae of your body, the red fluid that kind of powers constructs, kind of seeping out of it.
Yeah, I imagine Casey like stands up. They look down at their chest and go, I think you dropped this. And try and fling it right back at him.
Beautiful.
Appreciate that's dope. Go ahead and make a range attack roll with a dagger.
Great flavor.
They're not. It's not magical in any way. And it just.
I'm just gonna roll a dart.
Okay, that works. It's gonna roll a dart. That'll hit. Go ahead and do me a favor.
Yeah.
The poison has been utilized, but it still has a trace due to the turnaround time on that. He does have resistance against poison, but go ahead and give me damage for the dart, and then roll me 3d6. We're looking at 10, 6, and 4, and then go ahead and give me
Yep.
3d6.
You said 3d6.
Half will be
9.
4, so 14 total. The dagger comes sailing and kind of catches him on the arm as he kind of moves away from it. It just barely catches him, but you can see that as the kind of cloak drops a bit from his shoulder, there's a bit of the green matter that kind of sticks to it, and you can already see it kind of seeping into the veins near the wound. And then you step forward.
Yep. Can I draw my sword as part of this?
Yeah.
Okay, and then so I have extra attack because I just hit level 5, which is
Go for it.
also what saved me. That extra AP.
Yeah, that'll hit.
So +2. So it should be 20 altogether.
Okay. You kind of brush forward, and as he kind of sees you coming, you stab him in the chest. He kind of gets hit, and you can see that kind of wobble effect of a person who's basically on the last breath. And he kind of looks past you, annoyedly, over at the matriarch. Very much a person who is looking at the goal so far away.
She's like, I'm dead serious. She just sticks her tongue out, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
It goes to them.
mid battle. I don't care.
So annoyedly, with his last breath here, probably,
Fuck you, Bill.
he is going to swing wildly at.
He gets to move twice.
Oh, sorry, he's not on the bandits anymore. He's on the new spot. Sorry.
He's on his own initiative. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. Keeping me honest. I got very focused on that fight and forgot about the whole rest of the battle. All right. So
You got a sheriff to kill up there. Have fun with that.
No, I'm not here. I'm not
He'll
here.
be fine.
Roman, on his initiative, did try to escape the grapple of the chokers, but was unsuccessful, by the way. I didn't mention that out loud, but I did do that. The 2 chokers that have him are going to pull very harshly at this point on the bandits initiative.
Boy.
And Roman and the chokers will fall off of the bridge and hit the water with kind of a sickening crash.
Well, that's an easy end to
no.
that political issue. I
Both
mean,
my daddies are
no,
dead
Roman.
now.
We're gonna have to get this child some therapy.
The
So much therapy.
remaining chokers all kind of lash out at Morax at the same time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
None of these other chokers have taken damage yet, have they?
A couple of them have. Oh, sorry. The only chokers that took damage, were the ones who went off the edge with Roman from the
Okay.
scorching ray. Actually, yeah, perfect. So none of them hit you. As you're kind of walked into the defense and kind of got your weapon out and looking at the situation, you're kind of very quickly kind of moving your blade wildly about in a defensive manner, and they don't seem to be able to kind of be willing to risk their own limbs like their friend who got knocked off the edge. So they kind of reach forward, and you're immediately in response, and they're kind of backing away from that.
On one of them that misses me, I'm going to use a superiority die and do a repost.
Perfect. Go ahead and throw it. Do you want the one north of you, south of you, or on the bridge
Let's
edge?
do north.
Okay.
So
Attack
I did
roll.
that attack roll.
Don't
That
worry
better
about it.
hit.
Yeah. You as it kind of reaches forward for you, you kind of make the wild strike, and it kind of moves away, and you very quickly tilt the blade down and kind of catch it in the head and kind of move the blade aside. It's just a very simple action for you, which you initially kind of look as a prod, but then when you kind of look back over your shoulder at it to just check the damage, you see that you split its skull clean open and it's just kind of flailing backwards as that weird red SpaghettiOs fluid flies out of its head.
Cool.
All right. So also on the bandits, the one kind of standing there with the sword starts to move away from the bridge. You can definitely see a look of panic in his eyes, Moirax, as you kind of see him move away. And once he gets to there, you see him kind of reaching up towards his wrist, and you can see that he has a calling stone of some sort, and he's kind of whispering something into it.
Oh boy.
The ones that are now kind of free of the shadow start rushing up the steps there, and all kind of take a posture here. Oh, whoops. There. And now that they have kind of an angle here, they don't have a good angle on the matriarch due to the railing, but they will start firing into your crew. So, shot, and shot. Okay. So it looks like two of them kind of focus their fire on this lead guard here, and they hit him. Both hit him, and it's a very grievous looking wound. In fact, for the Abbess and Dahabe, as you're kind of watching him get hit by this massive bolt, a massive splatter shoots out of his back, kind of like splattering onto the ground and onto the Abbess's cloak, and he falls to the ground dead. The lieutenant takes a shot as well. It kind of sticks in his pauldron, and he's lightly wounded by it, but he looks like he'll be fine. That was Brunor Fistbrand, of course. All right, and that's it for the bandits. It goes to Morax.
Okay. I'm going to attack the one to the southeast of me. I assume a 23 hits.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
Also
just
hits.
50. Cool.
The first attack will not kill. The second attack will. All right. You definitely see
Okay.
a troubled kind of like facial look on the one on the railing. Moirax, done or any movement?
Oh man, he'll get an attack of
And you-
opportunity on me.
You do have also free actions you can make. You can issue commands if you want the guards to do anything besides what they're doing. They're currently defending Evangeline, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to yell back to, not as an order, but just back to the crowd, like pointing towards the guy right away. It's like, we can't let him get away.
The lieutenant, in response to that, will say, "Hold with her," and he will take the dash action. Moving to there. And you can see him just kind of rushing forward. The look of the guy kind of like he's on his like little call thing and he kind of looks over his shoulder and it's kind of like wide eyes. Oh fuck! As this half orc starts in like plate armor starts rushing down the way towards him. All right, Moirax done. The guards have taken their initiative. They're going to move again, filling in the gaps and kind of holding the posture for Dahabe. Or not Dahabe, for Evangeline. And then Dahabe will go. This is where my brain was.
Okay. We are going to give a bardic die to Summer. Summer, you can use this bardic die to empower any healing or damage you do with your magic.
I would love to. Thank you.
And God, just running out of shit. Okay, so let's what?
Oh, gotcha. Very cool.
Okay, so gonna move up here.
That's rad.
Evangeline, get behind that tree, please. And we're gonna hit with heroism. Wait. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. One moment. Okay, heroism. So just add 3 temp hit points, Magpie. Just trying to keep you from dying if you get it. And that is my turn.
All right. The priestess, looking at the situation, moves to in front of Evangeline. She very quickly kind of turns her head back to the guard who fell, who is quite wounded, and speaks a word over her shoulder. You watch as he kind of gasps in agony and looks down.
Pulp Fiction shit.
You watch as like one of the crossbow bolts kind of leaves his body, the one that looks like it was the fatal one. And she says, "You're not done, guardsman," and then looks to the front and kind of like starts casting a spell, or saying a prayer rather. It looks like she drops a. Let me see if I've got the range. I do. She will be dropping a sacred flame of her own on the target.
Oh, I love a good sacred flame.
And these fucking guys are nimble as shit today. It does not work. Oh, I forgot to shoot the guards or the knights in the front. They're taking the
Wow.
dodge action right now, and they have. So then, miss and miss. The 2 arbalists in the tree are kind of panicked. After firing, their shots would have dropped down from the trees during their turn. Looks like they are also committing to the run the fuck away. Okay. That is the priestess. Her guards, her knights will remain in the defensive posture, not wanting to cede the ground because Evangeline is still out in the open if they do move forward. So after the war priest is done, Summer, you're up.
All right.
Casey's pretty messed up as far as healing
Yeah.
goes. If you were, everyone else is kind of fine though.
Right. My problem is that I have short
It's
little
just
legs.
leave him alone, Vitae. No worries. Casey will be fine. Don't worry about him. They'll be all right.
I believe in you. I forgot that cure wounds is a touch. But you know what I can do? Healing word. And
I was
let's
almost
just
certain
go
no one was going to make a 21 perception roll. This fight would have been a lot more fun for me if a matriarch was currently dying. Like,
Oh no.
because everyone would have been in panic mode instead of this determined.
Yeah.
Okay, so looks like a d6 as
Roll
well.
a d6.
Yeah.
To be fair, if you had done like 3 more damage in just one shot, Casey, that would have been fucking awesome.
It would have been pretty rad. Unfortunately,
Awful.
well, again, I
8.
did do a shit ton more damage than that. The reason why I was annoyed is I asked. That's why I said I have to do the math, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't good enough.
Casey, you get 8.
It's 10.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Plus
yeah, it is 10. Sorry, I forgot that I cast.
That's a bonus action. You still have a action.
The spell that I want to cast is not good for this, so
Don't cast it.
yeah, I'm not gonna cast it. I can't shoot this guy at this angle, so I'm gonna move here.
You can shoot through your allies.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm just gonna shoot him.
Yeah, you don't have to move.
I'm gonna move anyways. 22!
Okay.
Nat 20!
Hold on a
I
second.
hope that hits.
Oh wow, that's really low damage.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best.
Yeah, he was definitely in his death throes, but that just is not enough.
That just gave him more
Did
health.
I chat him?
No, you didn't chat him. Wow, that's really bad.
I know.
It graces him like you shoot him like clear in the head kind of aiming over Mikhail's shoulder, and it hits him in the face, but it hits him in the coif of his armor, and you can see it kind of press in, and it looks like it kind of gets into that like side wound that he already had from the Gambit, kind of bounces out from the chainmail, and you see him kind of, and as his face drops like that, half of his face changes color to white.
Oh shit.
And you can see his true form appears to be that of a changeling.
Get him!
Wait, he's a changeling?
Aww.
This is changeling bigotry.
He tried to
No,
kill me!
There are some good
Hey, Zach, do you
changelings
recognize
and
this
some
token?
bad changelings.
Oh no!
Personally, I have lots of changeling friends.
No, I do.
Just gotta go.
Oh,
Changeling.
Bill. It's Bill.
And Ben and
Bill's probably like dead somewhere.
All right. So the assassin, with the short sword and kind of like buckler, kind of rushes forward and looks like he is going to, or rather, they are going to stab Casey in the face. And as he looks like he's rushing forward, he's going to use his bonus action to go ahead and disengage. And he is going to move through the two of you. Hold on. Sorry. 15,
Come at me, bro.
30.
I'm not gonna even come at me.
As he's moving in that direction, you see him reaching into his cloak as he's kind of rushing forward. He actually throws the short sword in kind of a dramatic display at you, Casey, engaging more in the buffoonery of him just like trying to get past you. And he rushes past over towards the guards. Now, keep in mind, the guards are very much in the protective stature for Evangeline, but he's moved in such a way that he's not throwing directly through any of them. So he has disengaged, moved, and he is now making a range attack at the matriarch.
What a dick.
All the ones adjacent to the matriarch are going to use their reaction, the protection fighting style, so that this attack is made with disadvantage. So no sneak attack. But he is still throwing the damn weapon.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Please.
And I have +2 to my AC right now.
Yeah, because Shield of Faith. I know. I got it. Okay. Oh.
I'm just glad I remember.
Crit fail, throws dagger into own foot.
No.
Oh no, another crit.
Critic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Should
There
have
you
hid
go.
behind
Even
that
with
tree
disadvantage?
earlier.
So. Shit.
Oh.
It would not be a crit. It would just be it would just be a 23. Disadvantage will definitely. Damn it. I didn't have advantage on the attack.
Nope.
There was no way to get it. Yeah, so just a 23 to hit. So no crit, no sneak attack. Regular damage. Here we go. It is still one of his poison daggers. And that means it will be
You're only a level 3.
6 piercing damage and 20. Oh, sorry, make a Constitution saving throw.
You got to make this save.
Success.
Yes.
So you'll take half of 26, which will be 13. So a total of 19 damage.
19. You're still
Drop
up.
you, but not kill you
The
outright.
dagger slams into your chest, and it kind of, for a second, you kind of gasp out and kind of look down at the dagger. And there's this moment, like, as the guards are kind of all holding their shields up to defend you, where you're kind of like, oh! And he's like smiling, ha! And you kind of like look at it like, ah! But you're still standing, and you see his face just kind of like, boo! Like there's shadows that just like appear over his face as like his entire hopes and dreams have now fallen into his demise. Evangeline, it is your initiative immediately after. He is very much on his last legs. Seriously, like more so than last time because of
Little fucking piece of shit.
he had 10 hit points and everybody was doing shit tons of damage. I was like, yeah, he's almost dead. Crit. I was like,
All right.
and then 7. I was like,
Let's
okay,
see here.
okay,
Now she mad.
yeah.
She mad. She's gonna move out.
I would say reflectively, just kind of pulling the dagger and tossing it aside as you angrily kind of move towards him.
Yeah. And she's just gonna smack him.
Yeah, so he pulls up the buckler and kind of blocks it astride.
Then as a bonus action,
Hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Sacred Flame.
Oh, you can't
To the
bonus action
fate.
Sacred Flame. That's not how it works. Sorry.
No.
You can only cast a cantrip that has its casting time of bonus action. So it's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not a magic person.
It's okay. We're
I'm a
learning.
smithy person.
We're learning. So what I will say though, oh god, I just had a thought. Something we need to go back and do real quick. Apologies. So I dealt 6 and 13 damage to you, which would have been a total of 19.
Yeah.
We then half that amount of damage, and it would be a total of 9. That's less than 10, so we set to 10, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw because you're currently concentrating on a spell. We need to see if you can maintain that concentration. Sorry, again, most people I play spellcasters with aren't new to it, so I'm just making sure we got how that works. So if you're good. So if you're concentrating on a spell and you take damage, half the damage, and if that amount is less than 10, then round up to 10. But if it's more than 10, take that number. Then make a Constitution saving throw. That's the DC is the number you just made up.
Okay.
Yeah. So because you rolled an 11 over 10, that means you're fine. You're able to maintain the Shield of Faith. But then you rush forward with the mace and swing at him after removing the dagger from yourself. He kind of brings up his buckler and blocks with like a loud clang.
Okay.
Mikhail, he definitely has a death wish here.
Yeah, I definitely want to end this guy, so I'm gonna try. I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna have my dragon tooth dagger, dragon tooth karambit. Is that how you say it?
Karambit.
That's how you
Take
say it.
it.
All right, and I'm gonna stab him. Come on.
Take it right.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 17 hit.
It does not.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to help me get that.
You kind of rush
so-
behind him, and there's like a clang of metal as you kind of scrape across the chainmail he's wearing. Casey,
Bummer.
got an 18 AC, folks.
Join the party. Oh no.
First attack's a miss, second attack's a hit.
Oh, nice.
2 attacks.
And that'll be enough on the damage. So you kind of rush up behind him, clang against the buckler as he kind of spins to face the two of you after being alerted by Mikhail. And then as he's kind of like backing away on his back leg from the attack that you kind of threw high, you immediately drop low, throw the short sword straight into his pelvic area, and you just watch as like the sickening crunch of the bone of his like upper thigh kind of just crumples his entire form down to the ground. He is definitely wearing chainmail armor and guard gear, but as he kind of hits the ground, you can see his features, all of them, like hands and everything, shift into the shape of a changeling. And then you continue moving out towards the bridge. All right.
Not done yet. Hold
Oh.
on.
Go ahead.
Going to use Step of the Wind to dash,
Okay.
and that gives me all the way to here.
And that's the route.
And yes, so I will take
Okay.
that one opportunity attack.
All right. 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
You stop here. Or actually, you stop where it keys. So it would be here. So the second you kind of rush over to him, he throws his big hand out towards you and just has the top half of you kind of encapsulated.
Hold his hand.
You take
How much
5,
damage?
5 piercing. No, the choker has like a big hand and it kind of catches the top of him. All right, it goes to their turn. It's immediately going to attempt to drag you down. So you can make an athletics check to resist the movement since he's falling off a ledge, or an No. It's more of like a pull effect. So I won't. Yeah, go ahead. Acrobatics or athletics, your choice. Okay, not successful. So the two of you fall off. As you're kind of hitting the water and kind of bobbing up, it's kind of like holding and then kind of trying to push you down. But before you hit underwater, you can see that there's two of them kind of on Romand, who looks like he's been fighting with them and not doing too well from what you can tell. All right. Moirax, you are up. It looks like the guys... Oh, sorry, the bandits continue. The 3 with the crossbows are going to fire into the lieutenant. Actually, the 5 with the crossbows are going to fire into the lieutenant.
I'm going to.
Well, hold on. Sorry, I forgot the other
Oh.
bandits. Sorry. Bear with me here. Oh god. Yep. Oh. Well, okay. So yeah, you watch as these three off to the side kind of move up to kind of take a position of defense. And then these two who just hit the ground recently kind of back away slowly, but are firing towards the front runner. And as they all shoot into Brunor, right? Yeah, they they all hit him, and he falls down.
Oh,
You made that call.
yeah, I did.
The one with the calling stone is dashing as his action, dashing as his bonus action. I'm going to go ahead and notate his position off board is just move 25, so he is 65 off. Okay. And it looks like he's kind of running up the hill towards the switchback. Probably in his next movement, he will be in a defensive, kind of covered position. Morax, yeah, you watch as Brunner kind of takes 5 very heavy hits. None of them explode out of his back or anything, but he does slam to the ground kind of heavily. It's for weightiness of like the hits, just to kind of give you context. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, like he just got what was his name?
Boromir.
He just got Boromired, yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Is it my turn?
Yes.
I'm going to bonus action do gem flight, so like wings, spectral wings come out of my back, and I'm going to fly over here.
Okay.
And then, oh man, can I get all 3 of these guys with a 15-foot cone?
Yep.
Then I will, not that one. Breathe on them. That's 2d10 now.
Okay.
And they have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Backline success, front to no. So that'll kill these 2 up front, and then the dex. Yeah, that actually, there's no way they could get. What's your con modifier?
+3.
Okay, so yeah, that's enough to get these 2. For save wise, one was pretty close. And then this one in the back will take half. Okay, so he is just the remaining guy, kind of as the what was the energy type again?
Necrotic.
That's right. As this kind of like wave of black energy kind of flows through the front 2, you can see them kind of withering from where the line or the breath kind of hits them, and they kind of just drop to the ground. Like it's almost like Raiders of not Raiders. That's too gruesome. It's more like Last Crusade. He kind of like starts dustifying and dropping. The guy in the back kind of like stands against it, but he definitely looks like he's quite heavily affected. Okay, that's it for you, right?
Yes.
Dahade.
Do you have a way to track how long effects last, or is that just something we need to track?
Something you folks need to track, yeah.
Okay.
Is Casey? So the way I imagine Casey falling is that they're like upside down, and their little hat is like barely holding on, and they're halfway to falling in the water.
I would say what you're kind of seeing happen is the choker kind of pulls backwards, kind of wrenching its whole body and like creating a large amount of weight out of very hard fulcrum. When Casey flies, the hat flies off, and the whole of them kind of fall into the water. Casey and the choker, but when they hit, they're kind of like actually a little further out than that, so they'd be kind of.
Yeah, I imagine if anything, the hat and the scarf flew off here when he like magically stepped with the wind and like just like.
The hat for sure, yeah. The scarf,
Yeah,
the scarf's still on you.
The little
Okay.
hat. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a healing word. That'll be 9 back
On.
Casey,
Oh.
right?
Word.
Because you were kind of busted up.
Yeah, I'm basically full now
Okay.
with
And
those 3
then-
casts.
We will head back Get behind the bush. And that's our turn.
Okay. Casey, from your perspective, you're kind of like being pushed under the water, and you can see Roman just kind of like also in the same kind of position, but with two on top of him. And you see him kind of looking over to you, and there's like a look of like distress. Like at first, it was kind of like, I'm dealing with the pains of my life. But then he looks over to you, and you see this look of distress kind of fill his eyes, and you see his like teeth just. He bars his teeth and kind of looks at the creatures, and you see this massive greatsword that he's been holding kind of sweep up out of the water. And he is going to make 3 attacks with disadvantage. Okay. You watch as he slams into the first one, kind of lifting it up and just dropping it down. It very heavily catches the creature and kind of knocks it away from him. It still remains attached to him, though. And then his second attack very much catches it as well, and is enough to kill it. At that, he is actually going to swim. Let's say probably there. And as he's kind of like going forward, you can see his hand. Like one hand is kind of holding the greatsword, his other hand is kind of grabbing a hold of the bridge, and he's like clawing at it as he's like angrily moving towards you. And as he kind of gets to your position, he kind of grabs a hold of the tentacle hand, and then he's going to use a superiority die to lunging attack against the creature that is currently grappling you. And that third attack will hit, and he will kill it. Kind of cutting it down. And kind of like as it kind of like sinks away, he's holding the tentacle close enough to your neck to keep you above water, and he's like angrily kind of looking at you, but then his teeth kind of like soften up, and he kind of returns to a more not angry mode, and he kind of just barks out under the rush of the water, "Are you okay?"
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
That is his
We need to
turn.
get back up top.
The knights are very much waiting for the war priestess to kind of make a decision regarding what to do. And she's looking at the situation kind of concerned. The brigadier kind of annoyedly like raises his rod up. A glisten of blue energy appears at the top of his rod, and you watch as 5 bolts of magical energy fly across the field straight towards the guy who's running. Hit, 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 and the guy just falls to the ground. And he turns back and says to the abbess, "He is detained." Summer. Looks like we're done, actually.
Are we? We still have.
We still have 4
Still got
bandits.
these buttons.
Yeah.
Oh, the assholes with the crossbows. Yep. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. I was like, wait. I mean, like, I'll
There's-
take it, but
Sorry, there's 2 more with the crossbows. That one, the one
Yeah.
that was running, got knocked down
okay.
by spell sniper. magic missiles.
Evangeline got hit pretty hard, though, right? Or did the
About half.
She's bleeding.
Evangeline.
Or, yeah,
She's in angry mode. She don't
that's
know.
fair. But Summer would realize that she's not doing so great. So we're going to get up right next to her and hit her with a little cure wounds.
Okay.
And a little extra healing word.
You can't cast both at the same time.
Why not?
You have spell driver.
Yeah, I do.
Is that a thing that I let in this game? Okay, cool.
It was on thing.
Okay, great.
Is that a thing I let you do in this game?
I don't remember. Some of my handouts don't have it.
It is now.
It's not. It's not a thing I allowed for my Sunday game.
Yeah.
I kind of go all over.
It was in the handout for this one,
Fair
so
enough, fair
I
enough.
took it.
So yeah, that's fine.
She's so calm and serene and chill that she can just pop them out.
Double heals. All right, Evangeline. Yeah, your wounds are very
Insane
much
spells.
kind of assuaged.
Yeah, like she does kids, right?
Alright.
She only has 3.
I thought it was 47 or something. I saw. On
That's what everyone
Discord.
keeps acting like she
That's
has.
not. That's not how gnomes work. Gnomes very much about a branching system. It's not about there being a lot from one. It's a lot for many.
Yeah,
Awesome, man.
which is why she wants grandkids.
It's that.
They
That's
all
what
look the
fucking
same
is.
to Casey.
Oh my.
Because
Oh
see, the
my.
joke in the town, it's like, oh, there's another, no, must be one of Summer's kids.
Not
And Summer's
Real-
just like, I only have 3.
mine. Not at all. All right. So Evangeline is not going to hide behind a bush. She is actually going to push past Sahabe.
10.
And then
You get to in front of the guards if you want.
Excuse?
Opportunity attack on Evangeline.
she just grabs her by the ear. Excuse me. Oh my
Madam.
god. Is he too far gone? Would I even know?
You've moved 10 feet. He's within healing word range. You can attempt it.
Okay. She would.
Okay. Yeah, you see him kind of sputter back to life.
Coughs up a gulp.
But I will point out something very interesting. He's a half orc, so they shot him 5 times. He already did his own "I'm gonna recover" bit somewhere in the middle of those. So he was pretty lucky in the fact that he is a knight and not just a regular schmo. Yeah, they got like 50 something hit points to start. So
So she'll bring him back and then yeah.
all right, any
I think-
an action? You could probably try and Sacred Flame one of the guys in the back line there.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, they're within range. 90 feet.
Let's do it.
This one's close to him, so this one would probably be the primary.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not pass my save, but not a lot of damage. He's still standing.
I'm
Alright.
just a baby.
Mikhail?
All right. Hey, could you explain to me, like when you dash, like as a rogue, you can do a dash as a bonus action, so then you can go 60 feet, right?
Mhm.
Can you like add up any other movement in
So
there?
if you dash twice, it doesn't double the doubling. So what it will do is it'll be 30 plus a double of 30, which is 30, plus if you dash a second time, a doubling of
Yeah.
30. So if you double dash, as we call it, you would be moving 90 feet in a turn.
90 feet. Okay. That's pretty far. Like if I move 90 feet, I can move like all the way
You get all the way
to
up
that
there.
guy, or actually, no, I'd be close to that guy, but not quite there.
Well,
I
again,
think-
you're not running straight out that way. You do
Oh,
have
that's
to kind of
true.
form
You
a
gotta
path.
go that way and then over, right? So
Yeah,
I would
so it'd be
head
15,
over.
and then
I'll head
uh,
over here then, I guess, just to get right.
yeah,
like-
you can get there though.
I'll get like close to this guy if I can get right up next to him.
And that works too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Mikhail done. Casey up. So you're currently in water, and you're currently being held aloft by Roman. So you have a stable ground. You're small enough. It does look like Roman is secure enough to that kind of structure. You could probably use him as like a vaulting point. If you wanted to climb up onto him.
Yeah, I imagine they don't swim well. If
I
at
assume
all.
not. Yeah.
No. Yeah, if he's willing to support me, I'm willing to emotionally support him from climbing on top of his shoulders.
Okay, yeah, you get on top of him, and again, he is a pretty robust lupine kennelborn. You definitely have a pretty secure ground that you're standing on now. If you wanted to kind of jump away from him, or start climbing up the stone structure, you could do either. You think you might be able to kind of jump towards shore?
Okay.
If you step of the wind, you'll be able to easily jump. to
Yes,
shore
so
without
that's
injury.
what I was just gonna say. Is if I step of the wind, I double my jump distance. So I'll use another key point. So
Okay.
that if that can get me to the shore.
as you get onto him, you kind of throw up the step of the wind, and kind of like wind generates from your autognome body, kind of flares out like a blow dryer. And as
Oh my
it kind
God.
of hits against his fur, you can watch it kind of like dry up almost instantaneously. You kind of floop around his face, and he kind of like his teeth kind of show in like a
Dog outside of car window face.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you leap easily onto the ledge again, no issue. That's 5, 10, 15, 20 feet of your movement. You still have a full bit of movement due to dash. So if you want to run up the stairs, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to get right behind Moirex. And that
I
would-
can get to there like that, right?
yeah, absolutely. So basically just like bolting past you, this kind of slightly
I still have an action.
I know. I'm explaining for Moirex. As you're kind of standing there,
Yeah.
throwing through your breath, you hear this kind of sound. It's like a clink, 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 clink sound. And as you kind of turn and look back, you see a scarf kind of like fly past you, and you see the autognome kind of like right next to the guy.
Oh my God.
19 hit.
Yeah, and that'll get him. You rush behind.
It's already a little bit shriveled up.
Mikhail seems to have taken his attention, and then as you kind of like zip behind him, Mikhail kind of like smiles as you just blink from behind him.
Mikhail just sees the sword like poke out of the chest of the guy from the other side.
All right. Okay. So the last guy who remains, looking at the situation, just kind of throws his crossbow up in the air and
Grabs
like
the-
raises his hands.
The one to the north or east?
There's only one guy left.
I see two.
Where's the other one? Oh, he
Right here.
does. He does the same thing. They both just gonna throw their crossbows up in the air and kind of like a spiral. It kind of hits the ground, and they're just holding their hands up over their heads.
Nah, man. Nope.
I assume we're out of initiative, unless you want to slaughter everyone.
I mean,
turns to matriarch.
It's a valid option.
she kind of mad, and she was technically raised by Roman.
Roman. Roman is not a. Okay, look. He challenged him to a fight. Okay, that's
Listen,
different.
I'm thinking more temper versus murder.
More than fair. But
I mean,
I would like to, while I still have my minute of flight, I'm going to, like, as fast as I can, fly up to this guy.
mhm.
I want to grab him
Yeah.
by, like, the scruff of his neck
Oh yeah.
and, like, fly, like, 40 feet into the air, carrying him. Can I do that?
Yeah. He's not
Carried him, and I'm just going to say, you have 10 seconds to tell us who you're working for and where they are.
Dusk. I don't know. He's in the town somewhere. The town of Gateneath.
How long has he been there?
Ah, I don't know. I don't know.
How long have you been working for him?
Maybe a couple of months.
All right, I'll fly down to the ground, maybe like 10 feet above. I just let
Drop
go
him.
of him.
He kind of hits the ground and kind of like, are you gonna kill me? And the other guy's like, and you can see that there's like a distinct trickle in his pants.
Oh no!
buddy.
If he's not sure what's going
You
on.
made him ink.
Brunner has
I'm
gotten
not going to kill you just yet.
Brunner's gotten up by this point, and Mikhail and Casey, feel free to interject with what you're doing at this point too. But he kind of walks over towards the guy who is pissing himself, and you see him kind of pull a pair of manacles from his belt, walk over and kind of slap. This song is too cute. Slap the manacles onto him. Maybe something a little more serious, but also just kind of like chill. This is good. Slaps the manacles on him. So Casey and Mikhail, what are you two doing?
Immediately
Oh.
running down to throw a rope to Roman.
Sorry.
So he.
While you were doing all the cool stuff, Roman would have been doing something. So you'd actually see him clawing his way up the side of the bridge.
Okay, I imagine I get there just in time to like give him a hand because
Yeah.
it was only I ran up there in 6 seconds and killed that last one, and
And
then
you-
immediately like when they both surrendered, like would have ran to the bridge to like get Roman a hand to
Zip
pull
over.
him over the.
He reaches up, you kind of walk yourself against the rail, and he kind of pulls himself up with your arm, kind of leaps up onto the thing, and as he kind of hits the ground, kind of like shaking the water free of himself.
I will use prestidigitation to help, like actually blow out his fur and make him
Okay.
back to normal.
The knights
A
move
fluffy boy.
to the
Yeah.
bodies and start kind of taking them up and throwing them over the bridge, kind of cleansing it of that. The brigadier stands over the fallen, and the priestess looks down at him mournfully, and kind of just whispers a prayer to herself. But he does look like he is beyond her current ability to save. She doesn't just keep the kind of diamond on her at all times. Not some kind of sick adventurer type.
You mean they don't keep a 500 gold diamond on them all the time?
That's too action packed. I need something just. No, she does not have the ability to bring him back to life. The guards move over to Bill, and are all kind of looking at him. The soldiers are kind of looking at him, surprised and confused, not sure what's
So
going on
what
there.
happened?
And then one of them says, "I was kind of acting a bit strange last night." At the end of his watch, shakes his head. The brigadier and the abbess, from what you can tell, are initially discussing what to do, and the abbess is immediately kind of done with that conversation and starts performing the Atavian ritual, rite of death.
Hey, could I ask the bad guy that is being held up into the air?
Oh, he's no longer up in the air, but no,
Oh,
he-
I did drop him. Well, I went down to 10 feet, dropped
Oh.
him about 10 feet, and came down the rest.
Okay, I want to ask him how many changelings there are. See if he'll answer that.
I don't know. I mean, how could I?
All right. Well, I mean, that's fair. He probably wasn't told a lot, but I thought he might know. All right.
How
What are
many of your
plans?
group are in Gateneath?
Yeah, that's a good question.
A dozen or so. I don't know. I don't know. We got through.
What is it that you do know?
Yeah, as you're kind of moving around him, does anybody stay with the abbess and the corpse?
I'll stay with her.
You
Okay.
said you
Yeah,
were
you
going to
can't-
talk.
Yeah.
You
They're
can't
over
ask
there.
him questions then.
Oh.
'cause
No,
we're
I would
way over
stay.
here.
Yeah,
Way
if you're
over here.
inquiring about the prisoner, then you're over there.
Sorry, Dahabe wants to investigate.
Yeah, go ahead.
Evangeline, don't do anything
Fine,
out of
I'll be
pocket
over here
while
now.
I leave you by yourself, okay?
You and Summer go that way. Okay, cool. And then Evangeline, you stay with the dead here. Casey and Roman, you're at the center of the bridge. We'll do some interchange there, unless you want to go different direction. Zach. Okay.
No.
All right. And it looks like the lieutenant has the other guy kind of captured. So if Dahabe or Summer want to talk to him instead of the one that Moirax has, that's fine too. Yeah. As you're moving up that way, Dahabe and Summer, the brigadier kind of looks to you and quietly says, "The one I hit over near the switchback, at the start of the switchback, he's not dead. You should probably go and secure him."
Wait, which one?
The guy who
This
got
one.
off stage, yeah.
Oh, this one.
He got like 65 feet away from the board.
Oh,
Ugh.
then I'll go
God.
over.
All right. You ask your question as you're passing by, and he kind of looks at you strangely. It does seem like a good question, Summer, as you're asking him, like, what do you know? And you see him kind of like, I knew I was supposed to come out here and deal with the fishermen, and then once the priest lady and group were coming up this way, we were supposed to stop them. We weren't expecting you, but we got a message last night saying that it was going to be a hit job instead of a negotiation.
So you were prepared to kill the matriarch no matter what.
Yeah. Said if we killed the matriarch, then one of the setting suns would be able to take her place.
Don't think that's how it works.
You see the other guy kind of like
Right.
being held by the lieutenant kind of yell out, actually, I know a bit about what he's talking about, but he kind of looks at the lieutenant, who's also kind of like pulling one of the bolts from his chest. And it's like watching it happen kind of sickeningly, like near him, like as it's like out of him. He says, I'm willing to talk, though.
Well, then say what you want to say.
Spill the tea.
Gonna snap to what's happening with the matriarch and the abbess and the brigadier first. The abbess takes a minute to perform the ritual ceremony, to perform last rites on this person. And as she's kind of doing that, she's very much focused on the ritual. The brigadier could be talked with during this time if you'd like. If you don't have anything to ask him, then that's fine too.
No, I think honestly, Evangeline would just say a prayer
All right.
to Halloween.
You then watch as she finishes the ritual. She steps back away from him and kind of makes a gesture for you to do likewise. The brigadier kind of pats the man behind him on the shoulder, and he walks over and picks up his friend, kind of moves him over to here, and then kind of steps away. He then watches the brigadier sweeps his hand to the side, saying some arcane words, and this kind of just splatter of fluid kind of falls onto the guy from thin air. You then watch as he kind of snaps his fingers, and a bonfire appears on his chest and ignites the fluid, roasting the body very quickly, very suddenly. And you can see that it kind of very quickly kind of dissipates to little more than ash.
That's a lot.
You would know because you're trained. You would know because you're trained in religion that the Atavian law of death it requires cremation, and
Yeah.
that's to make sure that the law of death is not, especially out and abound. People in Atavian rites are buried, but there's a lot more ceremony that's done, and the body has to be kind of at a place where it can be performed. Since this person died a field, this is the rites that he's
Proper.
receiving.
Makes sense.
Dust to dust, she says as she finishes as he finishes the burning. The guards behind are kind of looking at Bill and are kind of going through his stuff. Anything you want to do with that, or do you want to talk to the abbess at all, Evangeline?
I don't know. I feel like she's kind of coming back down from basically someone trying to kill her
Mm-hmm.
that she thought she knew.
Get used to it.
Right.
Life of a matriarch.
I guess she would.
So happy.
House of the
I don't
Dragon
know.
flashbacks.
I'm so happy. The literal look on everyone's faces when I'm like, and he's drawing a dagger. It would have been more fucking like jaw dropping had no one saw, and he just started stabbing her.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
I think we're. Oh gosh, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't think that. I feel like she would just kind of observe and see how, like, a more experienced leader handles the aftermath of this situation, type of thing. Like,
Yeah. So her and hers just kind of start kind of like moving across the bridge very slowly, looking to the strange creatures and then tossing them over the bridge when they see nothing really noteworthy upon their person. And then you would note that your guards, the soldiers, are very much focused on their dead, or rather, they are dead. That said, to the middle of the bridge, immediately in the aftermath, Casey, you kind of pull Roman out. He kind of cleans himself off, or like dries himself off a bit. He looks to you and he says, "Very capable, quite skillful. So's your guard captain. Good selection. I don't know who made the choice, but quite good. I was almost certain that Mavis would be the one elected to that position."
Yes, the sheriff has proven himself quite worthy these past years.
And I certainly thought that Mavis would be a shoo-in. Why didn't you ever come out with us
Sorry.
on our quests? We, of course, never offered you, but we didn't know you were. He kind of looks at you, so skillful.
I perform well, but I grow weary of these, how you say, encounters. After the 32nd decade or so, they grow old.
He kind of laughs and he says, "Oh, I hope I make it that far." So you would know that he, along with Mavis Arcanon, who would be Valor's Arcanon's mother, the lieutenant who's currently the warden of the prison, and a couple of other heroes of the area, Voleg Herbal, Cromwell Cross, and Crud Bronzebelly, formed an adventuring party known as the Wolves of Gatemeath. And he was out adventuring with them while Evangeline's mom was siring, or being sired with Evangeline. So you're
Being sired.
being given the baby of Evangeline. I don't know. I don't know how to phrase that, and I don't care.
Again, but more
Getting
awkward.
knocked up.
So yeah, you would know that he is kind of connected to the town. Even still, Mavis is a member of the guard, and yeah, she has been in the guard for a while. In fact, she for a time served as the guardian of the keep, and her son and Evangeline were fast friends because of that connection, because she was directly connected to the keep in that regard. You would know Cromwell Cross is actually the mystic outside the town, and Cromwell is he's sorry, bear with me. Yeah, he is a priest of Atavius, but he is not exactly connected in the same way that connected to the rest of the Church of Atavius as the monastery of Ermarag is. Cromwell is a bit more a wandering priest, so he doesn't really make it back in and around town very often.
We insert Christopher Cross jokes right now.
Sure, I don't know
That's
who that
like
is.
that's really old stuff. That's like 70s.
Kevin,
Sorry, sailing.
we're lost.
I mean,
That-
if it makes you feel
Confused.
better, Kevin, you said Christopher Cross, and I was like, is that what Chris Cross's full name is?
Right?
Andy would have got that joke. He knows who Christopher Cross is.
Hold on. So, like Step of the Wind will make you jump.
Ah,
There
right,
you go.
right.
There you go.
I'm dumb. So yeah, and then Crud Bronzebelly, you would know is old, a very old dwarf, and you're pretty sure he has retired, but still lives in Gateneath, just not inside of the walls of the city. So these are all people you are aware of that used to roll with Roman, and Mavis seems to be the one that's kind of the one that's more in the light than anyone else.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
these bandits we just took down, they are part of the same group as the bandit that's currently in our prison, right?
No.
No.
Knives Below in
Okay.
the prison. Setting Suns. Well, at least by descriptor, they are Setting Suns. But again, you also know that they seem to have renamed themselves as the Rising Suns.
What's the difference?
Why are we like infested with fucking bandits?
Can't say.
Politics. I don't know.
Because we kick Roman out.
Because the
That's it.
town is in a defensible position.
Well, it's undoubtedly the case that they were much more prominent in a large city that has since been kind of sacked. So
Oh.
typically with burning
right.
ships, the rats will flee. So
Plus,
They
we
lost
might
their
have a dragon. We
home.
might have a dragon horde underneath our city. It's possible.
Oh, that too.
Remember that?
The dragon
That's
horde.
true.
Plus, our like town makes a decent amount of gold. Somebody could just come in to rob us of all the gold we have. So there's lots of reasons.
Do what
Yeah.
with it? 56,000 pounds of gold.
I don't know. Bandits like that sort of crap.
I'm
Um,
just picturing,
Buy a really, really cute jewelry.
like, you know, in the DuckTales when that guy stuffs all the treasure in his
Oh my-
pants and tries to run away.
You mean
Yeah.
wait?
Maybe we need to use some of this gold that we're making to like buff up our guard. You know, give
Yeah.
them better crap.
well, some of that is actually used to pay them. So
Ah, right.
it's just what's currently in the coffers. It's not like it's capital you can just utilize.
Oh, I thought we were gonna like go on like this defund the guard.
Defund the guard.
Like,
Yeah,
so
easy to say. and
campaign.
until guard stuff comes to kill us all the time.
Evangeline is the one who pays the guard. So if she wanted to, she could defund the guard.
No
Seems like
way,
a
dude.
really
One
bad
party, we
idea.
need a strong guard.
Well,
One
Mor-
party, one power.
Morax is a Gab, a guard, assigned guard at birth.
Yeah.
So,
We need
Hey,
to,
Gab.
I actually wasn't.
no, I know.
we
I
want
did
guard.
pick this career path.
I don't think anyone is anyone assigned guard at birth.
I
I don't
some
think
some
so.
people are some people are born thumbs. You know, it's like it's what it is.
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. You know?
Oh god,
To a few guys
Oh,
with high
God.
school.
that's a
who,
really old commercial.
were born with resting cop face.
Yeah,
They
you,
still use it
you
to
definitely know some people who were born with resting cop face.
But are some
Mm.
people like born into a knighthood? No.
Oh yeah.
Don't-
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can be
okay.
born into like a knight family.
Hell, we were just talking about one. Valor
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
born
that's why I
Valor.
said
the son of a knight and was basically told you're gonna be a knight, and he's like, "Yep."
Yeah.
You still got to prove yourself.
Yeah, well, no. There's no you still have to prove yourself. There's you're
No.
going to prove yourself.
No.
Right, or die.
And
No,
then
not even die,
He
it's
was,
just-
yeah, he was squire to the what's his butt, and then
He died,
What's
Yeah.
his butt?
and now he's a knight.
Sir what's his butt.
Thank you.
There you go.
Titles are important.
I was genuinely surprised you didn't
Earned
invite
that,
him
sir.
up the mountain.
Why didn't we
Yeah.
invite him up the mountain?
It's too
I
late.
don't know.
Look, he could have gotten shot in the brain. So
Yeah,
let's just
no.
count our blessings.
And I would rather have him
know.
in the town, especially now that we know that there's like
Oh, we
Dusk
started,
is in the
Burns.
town.
we started talking about assigned guard at birth, and like viewers left.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Rip.
I need to
Sorry.
stop. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Just got some guards in the viewership. That's all.
we're just offended. It's okay.
That
It
said,
happens.
how would you like to proceed? Again, there were some inquiries regarding the bandit you caught. The one says he's willing to talk.
Okay.
Well, then talk.
It's a bit more complicated than you might think. And I'll tell you everything. But
Okay.
I have a condition.
Oh Lord.
We don't kill you.
No. You don't set the terms. I set the terms. You can see him kind of shakingly say that, but he does kind of rise to the occasion to say it. If you,
I think that's fair.
if you want to know what I know, this is what happens. I tell you everything, and I walk. I leave here. That's it. I pick
Well,
up I pick up my weapon and I walk across that bridge and I walk towards Gateneath and I'm gone. I will never bother you and yours again, and I will continue on out of the town.
You
Who
know, if
says
we-
you're not just going to go back and report what happened to you?
Because if I tell you what I'm about to tell you, if I
Yeah.
were to do that, they'd kill me. The other guy says, "Keep your mouth shut." And he kind of looks at him and says, "Fuck you, I'm living."
Oh, is he standing up or on the ground?
Standing up, he's the one who beat himself, and he's got his hands behind his back, and he's kind of shackled, and Runor is holding his manacles.
I think we should let the honored matriarch decide. So the matriarch is still far away, so I'll use my message cantrip to be like, hey Vanjie, get over here. There's like political intrigue happening in the prisoners.
nice.
Oh Lord. On my way.
The knights are directed by Roman to stay with the abbess. The guards kind of look to the matriarch moving across the bridge and will kind of move up to kind of stay with her, except one of them remains with the knights. The kind of older one of the group.
Is that the other changeling?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
because you know what I always
Ruined
say.
the surprise.
Use the same trick twice in the same session. That's the stinger. I'm actually trying to push this out for 30 minutes, and I can be like, blammo! And you're like,
No.
2 in 1 day.
Da-da.
Got him.
Okay.
Roman looks to Evangeline as she's passing. Are you alright?
Awkward. Sorry.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Kind of steps aside, looks to you and kind of nods, and kind of like almost in a bowing kind of posture.
Oh.
He doesn't say anything anymore. Just
Yeah. She'll pause for a second and then like kind of almost smile and then walk past.
She doesn't hug him or something.
No.
I know. I wouldn't expect it.
the
Kevin, what in the Steven Spielberg?
Yeah. What the heck?
The guards move with you. Roman looks to his knights over on the other side, mustering, looks at Casey and says, "I have some business to attend to." He definitely has a look about him that's kind of... You saw him during the fight, and he wasn't terribly worried or concerned. You saw him kind of get angry when he saw you being hurt. And then you saw this look in his face, Casey. Go ahead and make an insight roll.
Oh,
And I'm giving you advantage for it. So 21. So you kind of look at him as he looked at Evangeline and saw the wound, and that's where his eyes immediately went to. And him speaking, you know, for a knight would be out of turn to ask that question. But it seemed like he couldn't help himself, and his response afterwards wasn't so much a sadness thing. It was more him falling back in.
Admonishment.
Yeah, falling back into his role of a knight. And he then says, "I have some business to attend to with my," and kind of looks to you with like a respectful nod.
They nod back. It seems I do as well. And turns to follow Evangeline.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the one that's talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, he's willing to spill his guts, but only as long as he doesn't have to spill his literal guts when we execute him or don't execute him for being a bandit.
Um,
Being a bandit has never warranted the death penalty, by the way, for everyone who
Yeah.
is curious.
Attacking the matriarch and the abbess probably would.
I mean, also like attempted murder of
Well, they did
Whatever.
kill
I mean, she's not. She's kind of like being
This-
sassy.
This is one of the bolt in the tree guys, so he definitely did just kill a guy. He just killed one of
Okay.
the Knights of Batavia.
So banditry and murder.
But he's saying he will tell you everything you want to know. He will answer every question he can within his power, honestly and thoroughly, so long as you let him walk away from this
But
entirely.
the question is, does he know more than this guy? And points to the guy who literally has like no fucking idea what's going on.
The guy,
Yeah.
the guy who has literally no idea what's going on says, but it did tell Morax that Dusk is in the city, or in the town of Gateneep.
Yeah.
He also was like saying to this guy who wants to talk, it's like, no, don't shut the fuck up.
Or was that the third guy?
There's no... The third guy is
I thought
unconscious.
that this, yeah,
He is not awake yet.
yeah. Summer's
Okay.
like over here on this rock, like making sure he doesn't wake up.
I dealt 38 points of damage to that guy and chose not to kill him. He has 11 hit points.
I'm just picturing her having like her feet rested on him because she just walked a far distance, even though we didn't go that far.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he's standing there.
Anyway.
He's standing there. The lieutenant would probably be behind him, kind of holding him by the shackles, kind of making him face you.
Okay.
And he reiterates his offer, and does so in. I mean, he's very shaky. He's obviously very nervous. You can tell he's, he knows he's not in a power position here, but he still kind of states his words through a shaky voice. But he does seem determined that this is the right course for him. The other guy has stopped talking at this point, and is kind of just remaining quiet. I assume that the guards, once they arrive, kind of move to keep him detained.
Yeah. I was gonna be like, wait a minute.
And they'll start detaining the unconscious guy that Summer kind of called out for, and then they'll rush over to help her move him over to the crew.
Thanks.
Okay. So Evangeline would kind of glance towards Morax to get kind of gauge his stance on the matter.
I would say in your head, I think if the information is as valuable as they seem to be letting on, then we keep to our word. But if he tells us crap, then he's not keeping his end of the bargain.
Okay. So she would say, in exchange for information that will assist us, you may go free.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Swear upon Halloween.
If the information assists us, I swear upon Elohim, you will walk free.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take by your definition that assist means helps to protect. So, I will grant that as sufficient. He nervously says, "If you might, to show a sign of good faith." He kind of gestures over his shoulder as if he's hinting at the manacles.
Not just yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then I'll start simply, and once I've let forward my bit of it, you can decide whether or not you want to be gracious. Kind of sits there for a second, and you can see the other guy kind of glaring, and he says, "What do you know about the Edhelm family? Is that
The who?
enough? The Edhelm family. Is that enough for you to take these shackles off?"
Yes.
Lieutenant kind of curiously looks at you, and then, seeing that you're serious, starts to pull the shackles off. Once his hands are free, he kind of... Okay.
I'm gonna call at least one more of my guards over, so we're like just
Yeah,
surrounding him.
got it. He looks to you, The guard kind of moves over. The other two seem to kind of have the other guy detained pretty well and are holding him pretty tightly. I've got a bad cat I gotta deal with real quick. Hold on.
Naughty.
Oh, naughty baby.
Spankies. No, don't do a bad. Well, now I'm gonna give him the rough pets.
Spankies are just a reward for
Yeah.
whatever he's doing.
He does
Oh,
like
no.
he does like it, but hopefully they'll keep him staying in the box instead of jumping up there. Okay, so back to what I was saying. He says, the Idhelm family is pretty complicated, as I'm sure you're aware. And you're not your father's daughter, as many people know. But you know your dad died. But his brother was never terribly happy with that. He was very angry at your mother, so I'm told, because of her niceness to you as of late. His sister, I mean to say, has been very kind to you. Your rivalry has kind of been broken up. You remember who was engaging in those attacks between you and Kala by the sea? Kind of points up at his face. It was us. Looks over at Moirax. He fucking knows. He was there. He was helping. We were cutting your people down. Anybody who tried to sell you anything. You know why we're doing it? Because you're a bastard. That's what that's what he would always say. And when his sister, the real power in Kalat, said, let the past be the past. Let it all come to a close. Let's be peaceful in this. And she offered her assistance to you after your mom passed away. Well, that didn't sit too well with him. And the old crews got fallen away. Those knight errants did their job pretty well. And turncoats like this asshole, points to Moirax, certainly didn't help either. But, shit gets hot. Too hot. And I don't think Dusk is smart. And he is in your town. That's for damn sure. I don't know where he is, what he looks like, or what she looks like, or whatever. They're there, though. Guaranteed.
Swear to God, John, if it's Valor, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
So Valor was definitely unconscious at one point, and when changelings and doppelgangers are knocked unconscious, you can tell because they transform back to their normal shape. They can't maintain the concentration to keep their flesh out in that state. So Valor is probably not doppelganger. Although he could have been replaced at any point, as Bill did. So, I mean, who knows?
Just last night.
Yeah.
Bill.
We were sent out here, and I won't say I wasn't complicit, but we definitely killed that fisherman down there and took up his house. It was definitely a bit of the ultra-violence and not a pretty thing to be seen, but that's bandit life. And we waited for you. But we weren't really originally waiting for you. We got out here about 3 days ago. There's a secret pass that kind of moves through the mountain ways. Comes out right over there by the waterfall. And we set up camp because we were waiting to speak to the priestess. The person who works up in Urmarag. And the goal was that we were going to be met by some folks from the town who were going to be coming with them. And that's at least what Dusk had said originally. So we thought it was going to be a pincer attack, real easy bit of in and out dagger-wise and be done with it. A couple of arbalist bolts to the face, priestess probably wouldn't be talking much. That was the original goal. If we could cut off your power source, then we could do some real work in the town for our benefactor, Mr. Idhelm. Unfortunately, plans changed. We got a message last night from, well, you know him. He managed to get infiltrated into the guard and somehow lucked out in the duties of coming up this way. Now, I can't say what happened to that guard who we replaced. Probably dead, though. I'd say keep an eye out for maybe some shallow graves, probably in or around the north side of town. That said, once Mr. Idhelm had decided what he really wanted was just to be done with it, you dead, that's when Shiv was sent in and the plan changed. The goal was to kill you. And again, in this transaction, I'm not saying that's not what I was planning to do. Obviously, if I did it right now, that'd get me killed. And that's not the way I live. I'm not a fan of me being in a circumstance where I could possibly die. And that right there is why I'm so willing to make sure you have all the information you need to win this combat. And I feel like I've given you just about everything you need to know to help you better prepare. I hope you agree. And I hope Alwyn shows mercy on me. And I hope Alwyn protects you and yours. Because I'm fucking done with it. They're also hoping that by displaying you as a murderer of Denisatvan individuals, that'll lead you to be a prime target for the current rulers of the barony. Highly unlikely that that will come to fruition, because I seriously doubt they're even paying attention. When I was in Kalat for a time, they received merchant or ambassadors as well, and they didn't agree to the terms, and nothing ever happened to the Idhelms. So, pretty sure you'll be okay in that regard. So, any questions?
I have a question. Sorry. So just so that I'm like understanding, what I understood is that basically all of this running around from the setting suns,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Yeah.
is being is sort of being orchestrated by Evangeline's uncle and Dusk. Those are two separate people.
Dusk is the leader of the Rising Suns, and he is hired by Mr. Idhelm, who you would be able to kind of, because you're a lore keeper, you would know the name of, and he is Waldir, which is Waldhere, last name Idhelm. His brother was the Mr. Idhelm that is Evangeline's biological father. It was never Evangeline's intent, at least from what you know historically, Dahabe, to actually marry a member of the Idhelm family. The Idhelm family member presumed that she would kowtow to his request for marriage. And in truth, how the matriarchy works and how like the marriage kind of situation works for Candleborn, as I discussed, is whoever is more prominent becomes the leader of the family. So it was well known that had the Mr. Idhelm that was killed by Roman had married Evangeline's mother, since he was technically heir to Colot by the Sea, which was a much bigger town than yours, and also a merchant kind of position due to its proximity to the sea, and also its ports. He would have been rightfully claimant over Gatemeath. So the uncle, knowing that basically all their attempts to kind of gain Gatemeath were ruined, first off by the lack of kind of a marriage agreement in their first visits, and the out of wedlock nature of Evangeline's birth, and then Roman's kind of set position in killing his brother. Waldir is very much, apparently, if this is true, which it does sound plausible, would have been the one paying Dusk, the leader of the Rising Suns, to first off initially cause all merchant trading in between the towns to be fucked. If you recall, that was a part of your history. And then once the Idhelms kind of stopped being assholes because of the death of Evangeline's mother, continued apparently past that point and have started working in the shadows with the remnants of the bandit groups, specifically the Rising Sun, formerly the Setting Sun.
So, okay. Perfect. I understand. And then the follow-up is, they just like call out Morax?
Yeah, he did definitely just say Morax was a member of the bandits.
Oh,
This individual did, yeah.
Yeah, Evangeline would have like looked over at him like, you
Don't remember that on the job application.
Yeah.
I would just I would
I don't
say
remember any of these people being in your references.
I'd
Shoulda
say
hired
to
Mavis.
Evangeline telepathically another time. As in, I'll explain it at another time.
Don't worry about the giant dragon man talking directly into your brain. It's fine. Don't worry.
Who can fly, breathe death, and
Breathe
also
death
swing
and-
a greatsword through
Also
people.
apparently part of the group of people who are trying to kill you.
Yeah. Is it a good idea to keep someone like that so close? So you can see that the lady, the abbess, and her group are still kind of across the bridge, but eventually Roman starts kind of moving across the bridge towards you as a group. And as he approaches, he bows due diligence and looks to the matriarch. Matriarch of Gatemeath, the abbess has an inquiry that I have been put to inquire for her, on her behalf. Seems to be kind of like shaking his head, thinking on the words, trying to sound a bit more official than, He says,
Oh, he nervous.
He says, due to the situation at hand, it would seem that it would benefit you the opportunity to return back to Gateneath with these prisoners and secure them more soundly.
That would be wise, yes.
We assumed as much. And it also behoove you to make sure that your town is protected. She has stated that she is not rescinding her invitation to you, to the abbot, or the abbey. She leaves the doors open for you and yours when you wish to climb the mountain of Morag and meet with her to seek out through magical means this individual. But it would seem that this matter, especially for your captain of your guard and your militia, seems more pressing at this time. Additionally, she has offered me and my knights to serve you as your honor guard. I understand that this is a request from her to you, that you can refuse. And you see him kind of trying to find the words. If you do not wish for me to re-enter the town,
It would be an honor.
and he kind of like looks to you like surprised, and you can almost see like a look in his eyes of like a glimmer, like a strange wetness around the eyes. And he says, "Of course, our guards will escort you back. Our knights, we knights will escort you back. I await you on the other side of the bridge." He says, and he turns, and there's almost like a hop to his step. But
Aww.
he makes his way across the bridge back to the abbess.
Just a happy dog.
Is he wagging his tail?
Perhaps.
That's how you know.
It's just waving while he walks.
It's windy.
Oh, it's just
Yeah,
windy,
it's
okay.
windy.
There's gonna be a father-daughter hug coming up here. I know it.
Casey, as you're kind of listening to everyone and talking and everything, the sounds of the kind of the waterfall kind of buffeting down, you look over down into the waterway, and you do see that there is a kind of structured stone entrance,
Hey.
a cave. That part, at least, of the bandit story appears to be true. And with that, we will end the session. Thank you for watching those that did, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Ciao.